Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. They don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm, justice for you.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car right in your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4027. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and my cock, Montgomery. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, the Daily Megs Morning Show joins us. Once again, we will sit and spin. And today, we go back in time with 10 albums turning 40 this year. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, a men's room shot of the day, funable listener emails, and everyone's favorite TV time with Ted. Click, click. Drunk and be drunk. All right, here we go. New study claims the best thing to do before hitting the gym is to go get high. Yeah, man. Yeah. To Alabama, where a man goes to a party, and because of the internet, has now become that guy. A Tumblr at Target is causing people to stand in line. People who ate laundry detergent thinking it was candy, they are not doing fine. And a teen driver is hit with over 50 separate charges because he filmed himself. Yay. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, I know you know this, but everybody farts. In fact, the average person farts anywhere from 13 to 21 times a day, multiple times while you're sleeping. You see, when you're sleeping, your sphincter muscle relaxes, so if your body needs to fart, you're just going to fart. You see, it's only when we're awake that we can actually hold in a fart. And while I'm not a fan of holding in farts myself, I do understand that there are situations where you should maybe hold one in. A wedding, a funeral, a little closer to home during an in-person interview with Duff McKagan and his wife. Now, some people try to hold in farts because they're being polite or they're embarrassed, but they're not doing themselves any favor. In fact, the initial inspiration for today's question, it comes from a study that's titled The 6 Horrific Things That Can Happen If You Hold in a Fart. Do you want mouth gas? Because holding in a fart is how you get mouth gas. And you know what mouth gas is? Exactly what you think it is. But then again, just because you tried to hold in a fart does not mean that you were successful. And depending on the situation, it can make for a bad experience. Sure, you might be embarrassed, but imagine when things turn bad. I'll give you a few examples. These are actual news headlines. Guy fined for farting with, quote, full intent at police. Man choked girlfriend who griped about smelly farts. And one of my favorites, man's flatulence lands him in court. That's right, his fart got him a court date. We can go on, but first we'd like to hear from you. Yeah, we're talking about farts today. And quite simply, this is how we're phrasing today's question. How was the fart the star of the story?
To be a part of the big show, call 206-803-ROCK. You can like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
These days, having versatile clothing you can wear anywhere is a must. That's why American Giant makes all sorts of versatile any-weather staples, hoodies, jackets, and more. Whether you're buying a gift or stocking your closet, you'll find just what you need. And it's all made right here in the USA. Find your new wardrobe staples at American-Giant.com and get 20% off your order when you use code ANYSTYLE24 at checkout. That's 20% off at American-Giant.com, promo code ANYSTYLE24.
In case you were strolling through the park during the last Men's Room performance, here's what you missed.
Today we chose...
Well, that wasn't supposed to show up. My bad.
Hello.
Hang on. I know exactly what I did wrong. Hang on, everybody.
Pretend it never happened.
It never happened. Okay, are you ready? Miles, are you on scene? Miles?
Live radio.
Okay, ready to go. Here we go. And 3, 2.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9. KISW.
All but tell us, away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4027. What a large and a charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeats.
Except that first part.
Yes, exactly.
Edit that out. Make it smooth.
Sorry. Never hear that again. Sit and Spin on tap, and today we welcome in Taryn Daly and Steve Miggs, the Daily Miggs Morning Show. Now joining us as we'll sit and spin.
Very nice.
Yes. They started the program last week doing a hell of a job, and now we get both Steve and Taryn in the studio with us.
Very cool. Very cool, man. I like it.
We go back 40 years in time today. I'm not sure how old Taryn is. I'm not afraid to.
I don't even want to ask.
Either way, I'm not sure. We have 10 albums turning 40 this year. I'm not sure if she was even born when some of these albums came out, but truth be told, from growing up, 1984 was a hell of a year in music as far as the albums that were released.
If you were a fan of rock, 1984 was a fantastic year, man.
Really was. So we're going to go back 40 years to make you feel a little old today with 10 albums that turned 40 this year on Sit and Spin. And as we do every Monday through Friday, lucky you get more Men's Room exclusively on Odyssey and the Odyssey app with the Men's Room Happy Hour. Join us for episode number 519. If you don't have the Odyssey app, download it now. It's absolutely free. You're taking a car trip. You can listen to us anywhere you go. You haven't missed a show. All our daily podcasts are there. The weekly podcasts that we do, including Greatest Story Never Told, the podcast, the Megacast, the Men's Room Happy Hour channel is on there, which is basically just 24 hours of nothing but Men's Room, the Men's Room radio station, where we got a chance to put together some of our own tunes and put together our own little radio station, if you will. It's also all exclusively on Odyssey. So we'll see you come up at 6 for the Men's Room Happy Hour on the Odyssey app. What else do we have for you today? We're going to talk a little thoughts as we find out that things bad can happen if you actually happen to try to hold in a fart.
Which I feel like this is a fairly new thing, right? I feel like when I was growing up and all through most of my adulthood, no one ever said, hey, man, don't hold in a fart, something bad's going to happen, right? It's always been like, well, don't fart out loud. That's gross. That's rude. It's, however it is you want to paint it. And then lo and behold, we wake up this morning, and this is from doctors saying, like, We're not saying these things will go wrong, but these are 6 of the things that could go wrong.
We had a story last year about a woman who was holding them in for whatever reason. I don't know if she was embarrassed because she was a fiance or...
It was her boyfriend. She was a Brazilian, Instagram model or something. Decent following. A lot of people follow her. Hot chick. But she'd been dating this guy for however long. Longer... But this way, she'd been dating the guy long enough where you probably slip a few out. He's not going to care. But... I don't know if it's how she's raised or just about who she is, but she chose to never fart around this guy. The problem was they spent a lot of time together, so instead of even just going outside and blowing one out on the front porch, she would hold it in and ended up in the hospital.
Well, it is, when you look at the timeline of a relationship and when things maybe, you don't ever how long? We're dating.
How long?
So, but when you do let that fart out, then you pretty well know you're a little closer to that than you were before.
But there's a difference. You'll fart in front of each other by accident.
You pass the threshold. It is somewhat of a relationship, no matter how you want to define it. But once it gets to that point, definitely you're closer than most couples.
You're closer than most. And if the response you get is one word, dude, right? But no one takes their eyes off the TV. Come on, man. But again, you continue. That's where I'm at with the wife now. We're sitting on the sofa. We're watching whatever. She farts, I fart. The dog always farts. My God, man. But you just got to look at each other come on, man. And that's it.
Yep.
No one's embarrassed. It's not a conversation.
Guy friends will fart in front of each other. Female friends will fart in front of each other. If you have...
Wait, do women fart in front of each other?
Oh, absolutely. But
do you know this for a fact?
Yes.
Really?
Everyone farts. It's
Everyone
just a matter of
farts.
What's your comfort level to be able to do it.
But we also make it a challenge. Like when a guy farts, right? You fart, and then if you had a good fart, like the next fart I have, I hope to outdo your fart.
But either way,
I just can't picture
women. But if you have
ooh.
friends of the opposite sex, now maybe you kind of like one of them or whatever the deal is, but typically you don't fart in mixed company with friends.
I do.
As you do with friends of the same sex, I believe.
I do it differently among guys.
Okay.
Where with women, I will say, excuse me, I have to fart. So I will fart. With guys, I will just fart and then bring it up after the fact.
So they say that farts are a normal byproduct of the body's digestive process caused by gas released by bacteria in your gut, as well as the air you swallow. And when those microbes break down and metabolize the food you eat, they release sulfurous gases, which cause the bad smells. A doctor, Philip Mayhead, a consultant gastroenterologist at Benedin Hospital, said the causes do vary, but it often is related to digestion, swallowing air, eating or drinking. And when they build up the gases, they go through the digestive system before being released. However, it is possible to stop them being released instantly by tightening your sphincter and holding it in there for a better time, maybe to let one rip. Now, while doing this from time to time can be harmless and the polite thing to do, they say regularly holding in your gas can cause a range of problems. The first one is what is known as mouth gas.
I feel like it's self-explanatory.
One of the stranger reactions to not tooting when you need to is something called mouth gas. I'm not sure that I've ever known anyone who's experienced this, but I've known people with bad breath. But when you block a fart from leaving the body, some of the gas built up in the rectum can pass through the gut wall and be reabsorbed into the bloodstream. From there, it can be released by exhaling out of the lungs, causing an odorless release of gas in the mouth.
It's odorless. All right.
Yes. Now, mouth gas does not cause smelly pongs because the sulfuric compounds made in the gut do not get reabsorbed. However, it can still be an unpleasant symptom similar to burping. And just the thought of it. So maybe you're burping a lot. It might just be that your fart's coming out your mouth.
I'm going to start asking people, are you burping because you have carbonation? You burping because you held in a fart?
Number 2 on the list of things that can happen if you hold in your gas. The buildup of gas in your gut can cause another uncomfortable side effect. That would be bloating. The swelling in your belly can make your stomach balloon and feel unpleasantly full. I have been constipated for a week straight.
What do you think it is? Basically, since we've gotten back from the end of the year, right, you've been constipated.
Right before the show, I had to run back there as fast as I could. We were playing Tom Sawyer and get it done. I was like, can I do it? And that's the weird thing about this job. It's like,
how long is the song?
3 minutes. I can't do 3 minutes. 4 minutes, that gives me just enough time. If we play Tool, thank God, Maynard, thank you. I can actually sit down, take a little bit more time in there. Certain bands.
With Tool, you can poop. Green Day, you can't poop. Jimi Hendrix, typically, you can't poop. Nirvana,
Guns N' Roses gives you a shot.
Poop. Depends on the
Metallica
song.
gives you a shot.
Metallica, you can definitely poop. I know it sounds stupid, but listen, this is the business we're in, and we will ask Mike, how long is this song? And he'll just say, it's Green Day. And you'll hear someone mutter a curse word under the breath, and that tells the rest of us, They had to poop. They don't have time.
Nirvana kills me.
Yeah.
You know, like it almost makes me angry. You know, it's not that I don't like Nirvana. They're not my favorite band by any stretch of the imagination. But the fact of the matter is, their songs are so short. Kurt does not give me time to use the bathroom, even if I have to go number one.
I feel like Green Day is a challenge even when you have to pee.
Right.
I'll tell you what, man. You know what, Mike? We need like poop songs. Right? They're like emergency songs that would break out like, okay, we were going to play Green Day. Instead, we're playing Tool. Right. One of us has to poop, man. We just need the time.
Prison sex, whatever, something.
Then if Stairway to Heaven shows up, that...
Stairway to Heaven, they're in a bad way.
Right.
Well, they have diarrhea.
I mean, that was the great thing about, honestly, I mean, I got tired of the music working at a classic rock station, but that was one of the greatest things about it was like, you had Hotel California. You had Do You Feel Like We Do from Peter Frampton or one of these songs.
That's what, like 13 minutes?
That you could guarantee.
Yeah.
That you could just put on and like, thank God, Green Grass and High Tides from the Outlaws. There was like a handful of these old school
classic rock does well if you need to fuck.
Jessica from the Allman Brothers was like 6 or 7 minutes. There was a number of them. And when I was working in clubs, in a club DJ, man, Bobby Brown saved my life. My prerogative was like 6.5 minutes.
Is it that long?
It was. It was one of the longer dance songs other than the old school disco tracks.
Sure.
So when I was working the club and DJing there, man, I mean, Bobby Brown, he was my.
It's in the name.
He was my ticket to Browntown.
Bobby Browntown.
Love that man.
By the way, someone asked, has Miles been drinking his Metamucil?
I have been. Yep.
And you're still backed up.
Yep.
Damn. What do you think it is? What did you eat in California when you went golfing?
I don't know. I think it's when I came back. I think I ordered some of my favorite potato chips from the East Coast from a company in New Jersey. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but I grew up with a company called Charles Chips, and they came in a big tin.
All right.
And the tin is kind of yellow with brown labeling on it, Charles Chips.
Yeah.
And there's a bag inside that's got a twist tie on it, and you just get in there, man. And it's a great potato chip because it's somewhere between a kettle chip and a Lay's. So it kind of... It feels like a heavier chip, but it tastes like a lighter chip.
So it's like a stout beer. It looks heavy, but it's not.
It's a lighter kettle chip.
How much?
And it's fantastic.
How much potato do you think is plugging up your backside?
Once you get in there.
Potatoes, bro. Come on, man.
I mean, and I have a habit of getting high and eating potato chips if I'm watching television. So that was a bad combination to have those in the house. I believe that is the culprit.
You think potato chips? You're backed up on potato chips.
I've taken a little hiatus from them. I still have some of them left, but I'm not eating them until I realize if that is the source of the poison or not. The third thing that can happen if you happen to hold in your gas, that would be cramping. Being gassy can be uncomfortable. Holding it in, you know what cramping is. That's a side effect of it as well. Indigestion. That's another problem from holding in gas. Heartburn, believe it or not. It is caused by stomach acid traveling up toward the throat, which can also leave an unpleasant sour taste in your mouth. But pain caused by indigestion felt higher up in the breastbone is known as heartburn.
Okay.
Typically, that's from the gas going the other way if you're holding it in.
So it's a fart trying to bubble its way out.
And here's one of my favorite ones, diverticulitis. Holding in gas can cause air pockets to form inside your digestive tract. If these become inflamed, it can cause the condition diverticulitis, according to a study published in a medical journal. And that is the same thing that a lot of people get by eating seeds, nuts,
peanuts, and all that.
Things that happen to get trapped in your intestines. But air can do that as well.
All right. So you were talking about being in a relationship and farting, right? So I don't know. Maybe some people put a time limit on. To me, once I know we're monogamous, I'm letting it fly. It's kind of like when you get married, right? Your bride-to-be, she's been on a diet. She's shaving her legs. Once you get married, hairy legs, guts back, right? Doesn't matter. You're done playing the game. So once you know you're monogamous, like, I'm going to go ahead and fart. Like, what are you going to do? This is the worst I have to offer, all right? But somebody here says, my wife and I have been together for 8 years, married for almost 6. We have never farted in front of each other. I don't know if we can ever open that door. I feel like the opportunity is too far gone. So I'm thinking about this. If you're 8 years in a relationship, 6 years married, and you still have not farted in front of each other, does that mean you permanently just won't fart? Like, is that now part of your relationship? That it's an unspoken agreement.
You don't understand this courtesy because you don't care. But there are a lot of people out there that don't want to fart either because they know that their gas is bad.
Yeah.
Or that they're just...
don't know until you do it.
How many ring cam videos have we seen where someone just walks outside like they're on the floor? Right. And then it catches on the ring cam video. And then people inside post it online because they think it's funny. Or someone across the street walks outside.
Yeah.
I mean, across the street.
And your ring camera pops on.
And catches the audio of it.
Right. You know? Okay, both of you guys have walked into the bathroom either when I am underway or shortly after.
Yes, and we know it's you. I hate that we recognize each other's scent.
Do you want me blowing this studio up?
No.
Okay, I exercise restraint.
But you can.
Is that why you walk around the floor sometimes?
Miles, don't give away my secrets now.
Okay.
Is that part of it? Do you crop dust? Are you a crop duster?
Crop dusting would imply somebody's here.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point.
Okay. So, Mike, the building that's up on First Hill, they caught on fire over the brig. All right. We lived in that building that burned down.
Yeah.
All right. So, but we all lived together when we moved here to Seattle. So, like anything, people want to come out and visit, just check out the city. Gives you a reason to come out here, especially if you're from the East Coast and you never traveled to the Pacific Northwest before. A lot of people have gone to California or Vegas or wherever they get as far as west as they can get. But, it takes a reason to come to Seattle, whether that's going on a cruise or whatever the deal is. People want to come out and visit. So one of Ted's friends was one of the first people to come out from the East Coast because either he was here on business, I believe, or he was just checking something out. I think it might have been a combination of the two, but he was here. So, of course, we go out for a pretty good day of day drinking.
Yeah.
I want to say this probably started around noonish, maybe earlier than that. We hit the bars. We do our thing. Either way, we put it on pretty early and pretty ugly to the point where we're going to go back, shower up, and figure out, okay, how much more of the evening do we have? Well, Ted's buddy, Matt, decides that he is going to take basically a power nap. And by power nap, I mean somewhat passed out.
He passed out drunk. He was
somewhat hammered.
Like anybody, right? So he just passed out on the sofa, completely, dead to the world, passed out
now,
drunk.
He's got his head over the back of the couch. He is bad. He is out. And Ted is also sitting on the couch beside him. Ted lets this fart. Now, it had not reached me yet.
Right.
It had not reached Steve yet. But either way, out of a dead sleep.
Dead drunken
sleep. You hear this roar. And Matt sits up and goes, ah! And his eyes are all big. And he looks at Ted and Ted's like, sorry, man.
Right.
And it was one of the most epic responses.
Dude woke up. He started screaming before his eyes were open.
Yes.
This guy sat up like Dracula in the coffin. What is that? It's just Ted. Like, yeah, my bad. I think the worst fart I've had in a while. And look, I did it in the privacy of my own bedroom. No big deal. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. But I blew out this little fart. I recognize it stinks. I don't care because I'm kind of getting up for the morning. So I walk down toward the kitchen. I'm walking down the hall. My kids now go into my bedroom to watch TV in there. And I overhear this conversation. It's just my daughter. You hear them walk in, and then you hear their footsteps stop dead. And you hear my daughter say to my son, What is that smell? And a little bit of a pause, and my son, being dead serious, and the little kids at the time, he goes, I don't know, but it smells like darkness. Jesus, man. They didn't even recognize it to be a fart. It smelled like their impending doom.
Wasn't there a time, I think in the old building, where Ted farted so bad in studio that it actually did
the entire floor. Our entire side of the floor went all the way down the hall and went through closed doors. Keep in mind, the door to our studio is closed. It went through the door, through the glass.
Well, we opened the door eventually because we had to air it out.
And when we couldn't be in there.
When we opened the door, then Hair Club, basically, who was notorious at throwing stuff at the door when he'd hear stuff on the air that he didn't like. So he had a direct line from his desk in his office that went straight through the hallway, and there's a glass door to the studio.
Right.
And anytime he would get pissed, he would take a CD that someone would send in, either of an air check because they wanted a job, or of a band that was a new band. That, like, you want to play the new Disturbed? They just go flying through the air, smash into the door, and you're like, oh, God, what do we do this time? You could hear him screaming once we closed the door and got back on the air, marching up and down the hallway. Jolene at the time freaked the hell out, and it was easy to set her off, man.
And her desk was right next to office was right next to her.
I accidentally would just light her fuse every day on something, man. She'd just be so mad at me, I'd get smacked in the back like, what? But man, when she got pissed, she was fuming in boots, like big leather. Stomping down the hallway.
Everyone's mad at me.
Right.
This was not my fart.
You're the notorious farter.
I am the notorious farter. And I haven't explained the Hair Club. Keep in mind, we go to commercial break, and farts generally, even when someone's mad, they're still smiling a little bit. He was not doing that.
Nobody was smiling. You don't understand. I have never smelled anything like this in my life. I will never smell anything like that ever again.
You won't.
I cannot explain to you the smell and just how pungent it was, and the fact that it was, as Ted said, it was a silent but deadly one. It wasn't anything that was like...
we didn't know it had happened until we smoked.
Yeah, right.
No sound. But you would think I took a sledgehammer to hair clubs and Mercedes. Like, that is kind of the response he's given me about this fart. So I kind of let him finish, right? And I mean, he's turning all red and screaming, man. And again... To me, I'm like, this is about a fart. What a wonderful place to work. But, seriously, right?
Production
this
director.
is the worst thing that's happened is this. But I said, dude, that wasn't me. BS, you fart all the time. I said, man, listen to me. You're not wrong to come to me, right? I understand that I am the first guy you come to. And I would take ownership of this. What I'm telling you is, it wasn't me. The problem was Ted would not fess up at first. I wasn't going to throw Ted under the bus.
Sure, he's got hair clubs screaming at you. He doesn't want that smoke, man.
Yeah, he's like messing around on his phone, acting like he doesn't. And I'm getting screwed. Like, we go back on the air, and I'm like half irritated. Like, man, I just got my ass handed to me. This is not my fart. Yeah. The fart didn't go away. So when we go back on the air, like, it's still present. It was like a guest on the show.
The production director had a closed door left. He had a dog.
Oh my God!
He had like a dog with him that took off too. Like everybody had to evacuate this corner of the building. And to this day, I will never smell anything like that in my life.
Not even close.
Now tonight, I know you got TV time coming up later on.
I do indeed.
But Duff McKagan's on Jimmy Kimmel tonight.
Correct.
Ted held in a fart in studio with Duff McKagan for at least 15 minutes. And when the interview was over, Ted ran out as fast as he could to go find a place to fart.
But we didn't know.
He was having horrific stomach pains.
But we didn't know, man. And so he was unusually quiet during the interview. We went to smoke. I only give it another thought. When we come back, Ted's just like, man. It's like it was Duff and his wife, and he's like, I couldn't even chance a fart. He's like, they didn't deserve that. That's basically what he said.
Like, closed door
even
studio.
If I fart, he goes, they didn't deserve what I had in me. And then when I kind of think back, I'm like, he did have his hand on his stomach, and he was kind of crouched over.
As soon as the interview was over, he opened the door and left. Like typically, you go like, hey, thanks for coming in.
Right. Nice to see you, Duff.
Maybe we'll get a picture. Good seeing you. Ted's bailed out like David Copperfield.
Yeah.
How was Fart the star of the story? 206-803-ROCK.
A peanut butter M&M's production.
In a world where Super Bowl winners get the world's admiration and a fancy ring, but the runners-up get nothing, one retired cop returned...
That's one retired quarterback. Read the script.
Oh, sorry. One retired quarterback returns to claim what's his.
That's claim a ring with diamonds made from M&M's peanut butter. But you're on a roll.
The Ring of Comfort, coming soon to a Super Bowl near you.
Shall I take your order, or do you need a minute?
Yes, I'll be ready. Just buying a car on Carvana.
What?
It's super convenient. I already got pre-qualified in 2 minutes. All I had to do was answer a few questions.
What? That's handy.
Yeah, now I'm customizing my down and monthly payments.
What? That's an exquisite deal.
And just like that, Carvana's delivering my car in a couple days.
What?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'll have the burrito.
Visit Carvana.com to finance your next car.
Financing subject to credit approval. Delivery fees may apply.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader. Like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
Experience the Newport Seafood and Wine Festival from February 22nd through 25th. Enjoy over 50 Pacific Northwest wineries under one tent. Some of the best Oregon Coast seafood, over 70 local artisans, a beer garden, a seafood chowder competition, VIP tent, and live entertainment, including Sunny Hess, Sons of Beaches, Curtis Salgado, Ty Curtis, Randy McCoy, and Hectic Week. 1- and 3-day passes available now at newportchamber.org.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Short question, how was a fart the star of the story? 206-803-ROCK.
Real quick text there. It says, when my daughter was only a few months old, it's one of those nights where she was just screaming and screaming for hours and hours and hours. Well, she finally fell asleep on my wife's chest in the back bedroom, and not more than 5 minutes later, I'd let out one of the biggest farts in my life out in the living room. I love this part. The dog launched off the floor and started barking at the front door. My wife couldn't have handed me the baby quicker. She was so pissed. Anytime you can confuse your dog and get them angry about something, even though you know it's your ass, to me, I chalk that up as a win.
Quick tip there, if you do have a screaming baby. I learned this from one of my children.
All right.
If they're screaming a lot, typically they're having a bad case of acid reflux.
Yeah.
So if you can just, instead of lay down with them, if you can stand
sit them
up and keep their head, above their stomach and just kind of walk around with them, that tends to kind of soothe some of that. Obviously, if you've ever had heartburn, the standing up ain't going to be the cure all the time, but it sure doesn't help when you lay down.
But babies, they definitely farted out too.
Oh, yeah.
You stand up and pat back.
You never, that's the one thing about a baby, man, you're just guessing. Because they can't tell you.
Because can you burp the baby? And it's like, let's be a little bit more accurate about what we're doing. What we're doing is we're going to release something from the baby. It might be a burp. A lot of times that burp is followed with vomit. My beard has had the vomit of multiple children in it. Sometimes they fart. Sometimes the poop. You just keep patting the back and find out what's going to happen.
How was a fart the star of the story? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Candy. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
My sister came out to Reno for our wedding many, many, many years ago, and then we drove back with her. And my husband had just met this woman, and she's driving, and we were prisoners, and she had eaten cabbage and grapes, and she SBD'd the entire way, and my husband's rolling the windows down, hanging his head out and retching in the back seat. He still talks about it.
Were you driving from here to Reno and back?
No, driving. No, we were in California, from Reno to California.
No, wait, you said she ate cabbage and grapes.
Yes, deadly for her.
I don't think that's a good combo for anyone.
What kind of wedding was this?
Cabbage. Most people like chicken or salmon. Would you like the cabbage or the grapes?
We had a quickie wedding in Reno, and everybody came. But, boy, he was sorry he drove back with her.
And so how long ago was this?
About 35 years ago.
And he still talks about it?
To this day, it's his favorite story.
Is your sister still around?
Oh, she's still around. She's still got them, too.
Okay, all right.
What do you mean she still got them? Like bad farts?
Oh, yes.
Has it always been, like when you were growing up, wow, I just farted, by the way, and I mean, it smells awful.
Don't wave it my way.
I'm trying to wave it somewhere else, guys.
Yeah, you're waving it in your face.
I'm waving it this way. I'm waving it to my right because you're up to my left. You're still going to smell it. But when she was a kid, did it reek really bad then, too?
Oh, yes. I think something's always fermenting in that gut of hers.
Yeah, some people have that. Steve farts all the time. So, yeah, I think because of your metabolism working so fast or whatever the deal is or something, your body just, man, it's moving too quick.
It moves all the time. So they say the average person farts 13 to 21 times a day. I'm sure I'm 25 to 30.
Now,
this fart is really bad.
Okay, being that you are your mother, essentially, as far as, your looks, your body,
she can lay him down.
Everything else. I was going to say,
she can lay him down.
Is she the same way?
If she's listening, she'll be so mad at me for sharing this story. But now that she's thousands of miles away, I don't care. It was the summer. I'm all from school. I'm like 15, 16 years old. And my bedroom smells like someone has busted ass or had diarrhea under my bed. I mean, like, it is thick, but it's not me. And I can't figure it out. And I'd open my bedroom door. It wasn't as bad, right? So in my bedroom, it smells like a fart. The only person in there is me. I'm not farting. The hallway's kind of okay. Whatever. I can't figure it out. I can't deal with it. So I go downstairs to the kitchen. I'm getting a glass of water. And my father is downstairs watching TV in the family room. This wouldn't be a big deal. But typically, he's not a big TV watcher in the first place. But if he was going to watch TV, he did it in the comfort of his own bedroom. Right? So I just thought it was a little odd. And I made a comment, something to the effect of, wow, man, you watch the TV down here? And he just looks at me and he goes, yeah, I am. He goes, go to my room. I said, what's in your room? He said, just go to my room, you'll understand. So I go back upstairs, I open my parents' door, and man, I cannot explain the thickness of of clear, just farts, man. I mean, but it's like 10,000 people farted all at once and left. And there's my mom laying in bed, and she's got her hand over her guts. And we realized what the problem is. I don't know if she was lactose, if she ate something wrong, but she could not stop farting, and every fart was god-awful. Like, it almost felt warmer in her bedroom. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh, my God.
Fart sauna.
But because it was the summertime, we had the air conditioning on. So the air conditioning was sucking all the stink of her farts and blowing it through the pipes into my bedroom. And that's why my bedroom smelled like she was farting in there. Her bedroom was just thicker, but my bedroom, you would think like, yo, Thrill, man, you might want to see a doctor. Like, I have not farted. This is 100% coming through a wall through the air conditioning vent. And I do remember the moment when it, quote unquote, cleared up from her. You heard her make a mad dash to the bathroom. You could hear some sound and fury. And it all stopped after that. But this is like 4 hours of this, man. And it was bad. Where my father, like, we're going to go do something. Like, we can't be in the house anymore.
How was a fart the star of the story? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Scott. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
Well, first, by the way, I was just getting off the freeway, and there was a guy holding a sign that said, "My family was killed by ninjas, need money for karate lessons." I didn't give him any money, but it seemed quite amusing.
You know what would be really sad if we find out it's true?
I know.
Why does everyone keep laughing at my sign, damn it?
All right, so to the story. When I was 16, there was a girl that I really liked, and my friend and I drove over to her house so that I could kind of chat with her. I was going to try to build up the courage to ask her out. We were sitting in her house. I was sitting against a wall on hardwood floors, and she was sitting on the carpet, and my friend was sitting over there too. And I had my legs kind of propped up. He said something, and I was trying to act like it was funny. So I laughed. Same time ripped one, and I tried to act like it didn't happen, and she tried to act like it didn't happen so we wouldn't both be super embarrassed. And my friend said, "Dude, so you've got to feel so stupid right now. I can't believe you did that." And it ruined it. And I ended up like 5 minutes later leaving, and we were not ever friends.
I had the same situation happen to me in college. Well, I did the same thing and never saw her again.
You can't overcome a fart, all right? No. And here's the thing about the fart. People try to play. I remember a teacher who farted. They were writing on the blackboard, whatever, and they farted. And, of course, the class chuckled because people are going to laugh when you fart. But they immediately acted like they were having a coughing fit, which made it worse, you know? And we're like, look, man, here's the thing about a fart. All farts sound a little different. They all smell a little different, but we all recognize that it was fart. You cannot cover it up. You cannot lie about it. You cannot try to explain it. Don't say it was your boot rubbing the floor the wrong way. Like, dude, a fart's a fart, and everyone knows when you farted.
Do you know? Do you guys know how in your center console of certain cars, and my car had this, but there was like two little slots where you could put change. Yeah. They're kind of like just built for quarters and for nickels or whatever. But I have two of those slots that sit kind of near my gear shift in this car that I used to drive. So wife at the time is in the passenger seat. We're coming up to one of those stoplights where you're getting on the interstate, but it was fairly up close to the intersection. Yeah. But it's still one of those red light, green light things, and there's a homeless person there getting on as we're trying to get on 5. And she said, that lady doesn't look like she's doing very well. And I said, yeah, man. I said, I don't have any money in here. I don't have anything. She's like, oh, here, just take this change. So she grabs all of the change. I'm not paying any attention. I open up my hand. She throws all that in there. So I've got like a big wad of change. And I reach over and I hand her all of the change. And we drive off. And I look down. And all the change that were in those slots is gone. So she took all that change, just picked it up and put it in my hand. That's where I kept my Brown Bear car wash tokens. It was about $6. So this poor lady,
that's nothing.
Could probably look like she might need to go to the Brown Bear car wash.
Just a walkthrough.
Ended up getting $6, $8 in tokens from Brown Bear instead of getting any money. And I'm just like, oh my God.
You think she tried to sell them back to someone?
Oh my God. Like, oh no.
Okay, man, trade me for the tokens.
Here's some Dave & Buster's tokens. There you go. That'd be better. How was a fart the star of the story? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Christopher. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
Good afternoon. Love the show.
Hey, thank you.
I'll start off a little bit. From Chicago originally, about 15 years or so, going back to my cousin's wedding. And fairly healthy eater myself now. So, go back there. Of course, now I got to get in all the Italian beef and all that food that I have missed for years. Before the wedding, night before the wedding, of course, at the wedding and reception, we're having a grand time, partying it up, having a great time. I wake up in the morning with a bubble gut. Just sore. So we're going down for brunch. I'm in the elevator with my brother, and I let one go just as the elevator's getting down to the floor and the door's opening, and his eyes start watering, and he just starts laughing. So we step out, and here's this cute couple walks into it. And as the door's closing, I can kind of hear it muffled going, "Are you kidding me?" So, here's my hungover brother and I are on the floor laughing. The whole time, it's all still coming out. It was just a real memorable moment when my brother had a ball.
Yeah, Christopher, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think I will ever outgrow that. As long as I work in a place that has elevator, I do it now, right? On the elevator, I know I've got to fart. You try to time it out within about 4 floors of where you think you're going, right? Either heading toward the lobby, and I will let it rip, because at that point, I know it reeks, and I know the elevator, and whoever gets in next is going to hate it. That said, I've had occasion where I did it on the way up here, and our big boss, Jack, I did not realize he is standing in our lobby waiting for the... So the door's open. He's like, "Hey, Thrill Man, how you doing?" That's how he greets me every day. I said, "Jack, do yourself a favor. Don't go in this elevator." What I appreciate about Jack, he looks at me and says, "I don't know why you're saying that, but I believe you." I didn't want to tell him. But I've done it going down to the lobby sometimes, and I love it when the doors open and I see people getting on for the same thing you're saying.
Well, the old building, you farted on the weekend, man.
Dude, the old building. All right, so I'm not playing the game, this particular thing. I don't know why I had to come in, but I came in on a Sunday to get whatever kind of petty work out of the way. No big deal, couple hours here. Sunday afternoon, there is no one. It's a corporate office tower. Of course no one's there. We were on the 16th floor. I get on the elevator. The door closes. I let out this huge fart. It stinks instantly. The elevator stops on the 15th floor. And I'm like, You have got to be kidding me. Someone else who came into work on a Sunday, clearly this guy would wear a business suit.
We shared the 15th floor at the time,
and
too.
This was a different part, not the radio station that was there, but the anchors or whatever they were. And this guy clearly was not happy to be at work on a Sunday. That was already on his face, but he steps into the elevator. He doesn't know. The door closes, and I'm dead silent, right? Because I realized, there's no way he doesn't smell it. So he didn't make a big production of it, but he made it a point to give me a look. Just long enough to let me know, "Hey, man.
I know, man.
I know you just farted." But I'm like, I didn't expect. The worst was, man, I had an Uber driver, and he got here very quickly. Usually go through Uber. It's going to take a couple of minutes. This is one of those deals. Just like, ding, and this guy turns the corner. I'm like, hell yeah. I open the door, climb in his Uber. He clearly had just farted, man. Had just farted. And all I could think is, that's why you got here so quick. But do me a favor and wait the 3 minutes. Roll down the windows.
Drive around the block.
So it's, he greets me. How are you? Whatever. I'm not saying anything, but I'm just kind of shaking my head. It is so thick in here. We get on I-5. I've been in his car for maybe 3 to 5 minutes. The smell's not going anywhere.
Oh my God.
He finally makes eye contact with me in the rearview mirror and just says, "I'm sorry, man. I just let it go when I got the pickup and you're around the corner." I'm like, yeah, man, I get it, but God
Did
damn.
at least roll down the windows to air it out a little bit?
It's farting cologne. It's a mixture.
God. I remember there was one time where I had actually passed the torch to you. I was on the way up in the elevator solo.
Oh, I remember.
And I cracked one, and it was a bad one. And then I found you at the very top, and I cracked the biggest smile because I know that you would do this to somebody else.
I would absolutely do that.
And if I'm not mistaken, you jumped into the elevator and actually caught somebody on the way down that jumped in with you.
That's the thing, because you were laughing. So, and as soon as I stepped in the elevator, I'm like, clearly Mike has just farted. We both got a good laugh, well played. And then, we stop on the 9th floor. And it's like, oh, dude, hey.
Not me.
This is.
But you're the only guy in the elevator.
You can't get out of it. There's nothing you can do. People are going to assume it's you.
How was a fart? The star of the story, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Bryce. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
So this is a few years back. I went to see Helmet at the Old Crocodile.
All right.
Helmet was about halfway through their set. I'm like one deep. I got one guy in front of me. I'm right up front. And all of a sudden, this overwhelming smell comes. I mean, it's like eye water, and it's like, but you're jammed in there. There's like nothing you can do, and it's just the worst. And then right in the middle of the song, the band completely stopped playing.
No way.
Hamilton comes up and he says, "Hey, whoever that is, will you do me a favor and go to the bathroom? I'm up here trying to sing, and I'm taking these deep breaths, and I can't do it." He's like, what the hell is that anyway? Was that Thai food?
They brought the band to a stop.
It's that Thai food.
Yeah, and this is Seattle, so there might be somebody else out there that can, corroborate the story. But the fart was so bad, the band stopped. And
this is a professional band at a paid gig.
I don't know if that's...
And they had to stop the show because the fart is that bad.
How many times has that happened?
I don't know, man.
I mean, among bandmates, that's one thing.
Sure,
somebody's going to shoot
buddy's
you a
done
look
it,
and
right.
laugh and whatever. But as far as an audience member stopping the show,
how much would someone have to pay you if you were the person responsible for this fart? It's you. People have paid money to watch this band. Very good band, by the way. And they literally stopped their set to address the fact that, like, hey, we're struggling up here on stage. How much money would it take for you to admit to the band and all the people there, hey, that's me, that's my bad?
Yep. A 100% true story, though. So.
Well, but it's also, if you're up that close, no one's leaving. So it'd be one thing if you're in the back of the room, you're like, oh, God, I got to walk away from this.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is you're up in the front of the stage in a venue where, it's standing room only. So once you're up there, you don't want to leave.
But see, that's the thing about concerts, right? If you're at a wedding and you really, 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 really have to fart, either you're going to do your best to hold it in, or a fart that would normally last 3 seconds, you're going to drag it out for 45 seconds to make sure that every element of it is silent, right? At a concert, it doesn't matter if it's silent. It doesn't matter if it's loud. Nobody knows.
As long as you see the reaction of somebody, you know if they dealt it or not. It's very easy to tell.
Are you sure?
Yes, it is. Because, look, if I fart and it's horrendous, I'm going to smell and go, oh, man, that is really bad. If it's somebody else's and I smell, I'm like, oh, God, who did that? Who did that? Right. My immediate reaction is anger. Right. I don't do that if it's myself. I don't go, oh, that was real bad. Who did that?
Man, I hope nobody smells that.
That's my reaction. Exactly. Like, man, I hope that didn't leak over. I'm going to look like
But that's in a forum where you will speak out loud about it. I farted about 3 times on a plane where I know the whole plane got a whiff. But the worst one, everybody clearly was irritated. Mm-hmm. So all I had to do to keep myself camouflaged was to also look irritated, right? And I did. And my wife looks irritated. I look irritated. The people in front of me. And everyone starts trading looks. But there's a real old couple sitting in front of me. And I realized everyone's mean mugs started falling on them just based on the fact that they're old. So we go we're flying from Houston. I remember this. We had about 2.5 hours left on the flight, man. And I mean, then I just keep letting them go. None of them were as bad as the initial one, but all of them were kind of bad. And people are obviously pissed. So it's a situation, Miles, where no one's going to say, oh, my God, right? Because it's that general plain decorum. So in that case, I get camo. I don't think this old couple was privy to anything going on. But they got off the plane, and now people are muttering about them, okay? So, again, no big deal. And like I said, I never blamed them. I just never explained that it wasn't them. We finally get to baggage claim, and my wife looks at me and just says, that was you on the plane, wasn't it? I'm like, goddamn right it was me on the plane, man. But I was not messing up.
I also felt like people farted more during COVID on airplanes simply because they were all wearing masks and they thought you couldn't smell it. But I can smell it. I can smell whoever was around me farting the entire flight. And I had a mask on. I'm just like, oh, my God, it's cut through the mask.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, this is...
And now it's like trapped in your face with you.
Right. And every time I wanted to take a drink, I had to pull the mask down. I'm like, oh, God.
Was it worse when you pulled...
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know it was the person beside me, but still, I'm just like, man...
You do know that? Or you strongly suspect?
There was no other people around me who were kind of being affected by this.
All right.
So, like, no one was shooting anybody looks or anything like that. Or normally you hear the couple behind you like, oh,
we'll say something, right?
Yeah, but none of that. And it was just him, and he's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can just tell he's like, I wonder if anyone can smell that. Not, oh, God, which is the natural reaction. How was a fart? The star of the story, 206-803-ROCK.
Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. If they don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm. Justice for you.
A peanut butter M&M's production.
In a world where Super Bowl winners get the world's admiration and a fancy ring, but the runners-up get nothing, one retired cop returns...
That's one retired quarterback. Read the script.
Oh, sorry. One retired quarterback returns to claim what's his.
That's claim a ring with diamonds made from M&M's peanut butter. But you're on a roll.
The Ring of Comfort, coming soon to a Super Bowl near you.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Talk about fart on a plane. A New Zealand couple say they were subjected to a drooling, snorting, and farting dog on a long flight. They have gotten a $1,400 refund for their trouble. Damn. Gil and more impressed say they were asked to switch their premium seats mid-flight from Paris to Singapore because the smell from the dog's cheese cutting was too strong. Only seats available were in back, in the economy. They accepted the seats. Again, they were in first class from Paris to Singapore and switched their seats to economy in the back of the plane because the dog's ass was so terrible.
Oh, my God.
The principle was not about the money. It's truly about making people accountable.
Yeah.
They say the airline should have fixed the problem, given a heads up baby next to a dog, which appeared to be a bulldog mix.
What are they going to do? What's the airline going to do to prevent the dog from farting?
The passenger couldn't have the dog out in the aisle because they couldn't get the trolleys through, so it had to come in further, which meant his head was under my husband's feet. My husband was in shorts and getting dog saliva goo on his leg while breathing in the heavy smell of the dog's backside. Our question, how was a fart the star of the story? 206-803-ROCK. Mike, yes.
We're talking about farting on planes and then the airports and whatnot. I remember there was one time I was taking a flight home from somewhere, and as I'm sitting in the terminal reading my book, just kind of waiting for my turn to get on the plane, right? I can hear the idle conversation that's going around from families. One guy waves his family on like, all right, I'll just meet you guys down at the gate. I'm just take on 1 second. And then he goes over and he stands in the terminal and he's looking at all the fine artwork that's up hanging from the ceiling. And I can hear the acoustics in the place are just echoing. Every time he bends over, he's looking all around the place, just crop dusting everybody. Dude, we can all hear this. You're not being slick.
Disappear into the crowd with your family.
Right.
Let them walk in front of you. No one hears it. And look, it's your family. You can fart around your family. The first thing I do, look at my kids, go pull my finger. Like, do I have to? I'm like, yes, you do. And then they do, and then I fart, and we laugh.
And no offense, you don't look like the type of guy that's just really interested in the artwork hanging from the walls of the airport.
You're not fooling anyone.
No.
Mike, maybe you know the answer to this.
Talk to me.
Somebody on the text line says the episode of the Greatest Story Never Told podcast titled, quote, The Fart, was some of the funniest stuff I've ever heard. What was that about?
That's available on Odyssey and the Odyssey app.
You know what? I could dig that up and figure that out. So give me a little bit of time.
Because Miles and I, we were noodling it through, and I'm like, well, there's like 3 farts that come to mind. I don't know which one deserves the title of the fart.
It might have been about Ted farting in the studio.
I believe so. The only thing we have to worry about that is just all the cussing that was on the Greatest Story Never Told podcast.
Yeah.
So it's not like we can go back and re-air the audio more than likely, because we tell it like we talk normally. How was a fart the star of the story? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
So we had a family reunion and about 15 people sitting around the backyard in the shade. And I let out this squeaker, just a long squeaker. And it was my birthday, too. So I turned to my brother and I said, 50 years old and still tight.
Still tight, yeah.
Tight. Like a balloon knot.
About half of them cracked up. My mom and my sister were like, Michael.
As long as you just get the first name treatment, you're like, come on, man. You know who you raised.
Yeah.
You know what the deal is. Do you tell your doctor that? Like, Doc, I can assure you my sphincter's super tight. Listen to this.
Yeah.
Wee.
Exactly. You're going to need your finger exercise or snap that glove on.
Yeah, my kids, they just discovered the joy of making fart sounds with a blown up balloon.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right? Because you can just let it go and it does a but they discovered if you pull the sides of it, you get that squeaker sound. We were in the car. We're waiting for, I think we were at the grocery store. So my wife ran in to grab something. I'm sitting in the car with the kids, and all they're doing is making fart sounds, which I found very funny. The only warning I told them, I say, hey, when your mom gets back into the car, you know you got to stop. They're like, oh, yeah, we know. Yeah, but she does not find the joy in this the way we do.
Well, I go and get a physical every year, and they the doctor that I used to have changed locations, so now he's up here on First Hill. So a couple things have changed to this appointment from the last few years. It used to be that, as far as your colonoscopy, they pushed it forward, they brought it back as far as the age and all these different things, and there was probably 5 or 6 years that I went to get a physical where there was no rectal examination. That was just not something that was necessary anymore. It could be done through a blood test, blah, 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 blah. I'm fine with that. That's good. I don't need your finger up there. No big deal. So I got there the last time, and the doctor, he's like, we have to go back to the old way of doing it as far as with a rectal examination, because they're recommending that is a more effective approach for whatever reason, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I'm all right, man. I'll do it. No problem. So, but this also involves some petroleum jelly.
Yes.
Okay.
Which I appreciate.
I do as well. All right. It's also the last thing that he did on this trip, this time around. It used to be he would do it first.
Get it out of the way. Right.
He was kind of reintroducing this, so it was the last thing that was done. All right. Not a big deal. Double the appointment. I'm walking down toward the radio station, and I have to fart. And I fart. And I'm like, oh, no. I think I just slipped on one.
Right.
And I'm like, and it's real greasy. I mean, it's real bad. And I get all the way down to the bit, and I am just clenching my cheeks. Like I got to walk across I-5 on the ridge. I got to walk down here. I am like, oh no, this is going to be a total mess. So I get upstairs, and what I realized was basically I just blew Vaseline on my ass.
Right.
That's all it was. But I did not know.
But until you know.
But I did not know what it was. But I just didn't. It didn't click for some reason that's what that was. Because I'm just like, I think I was more traumatized by the fact that this is just actually happening again, and it's not my favorite thing in the world.
You don't say.
Yeah, I mean, not even sexually. I'm just
right.
That's not my thing. But man, when I came upstairs and went to the bathroom and I wiped, I was like, oh my God.
How much relief did you have though? Like, thank God it's just Vaseline.
Yeah, but I mean, I couldn't believe how much came out.
But was your underwear greasy and sticky the rest of the day?
I wiped it all out.
Even the underwear?
Yes.
Because, I mean, once Vaseline touches cotton,
exactly.
It's always kind of there, It
was more like a water-based lubricant, but it was still
All right.
Still a lubricant.
Maybe that's why.
I was like, oh my God, I slipped on one. It's like, no, thank God. It's just lube. How was a fart the star of the story? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Chet. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. Okay, so this was like about 33 years ago. I was 12 years old. My older brother and my stepbrother were 18 years old. And they decided it would be a good idea to split like one of those gallon-sized Van Camp pork and beans between the two of them and have a farting contest afterwards.
All right.
So they did this, and they started to have gas like you couldn't imagine, and they were farting in every possible way you could think of. would be the first time I ever saw somebody rear back on their back and pike up their legs and light one on fire with a cigarette lighter.
Oh, it's the first time you saw the blue flamer?
Yeah. So my brother did this, and my stepbrother thought it would be a good idea to top it. And he jumped up on the pool table in the middle of the front room, hiked his pants down, reared back on his thing, and lit that thing on fire. And it burnt all the hair, both front and back.
Oh, really?
In flames.
Was it like one big poof and it was gone?
Yeah, all of it. It was hilarious.
That's one. That's one junior thing that I never did. I never tried that. I don't know if I know anybody who did try that with my friend group growing up.
I did it, and again, this is me. Everyone knows how I roll, so I did it all the time. I've always had to fart, and once you could get a hold of a lighter, you're at the age they'd sell them to you. We'd light them all the time because, like you said, it's a very unnecessary party trick, but it's funny when you do it. And the last time I did it, I was probably 16, and it's not because of anything that happened to me, but my buddy Tony. There's three of us messing around, it's been like a hiatus in band practice. And all three of us are lighting our farts on fire. We're teenagers, so that's what you do. It's funny. And Tony rolled back, and like this guy said, put his knees down by his ears. He wants this full thing. And he lit this lighter, and I always describe it as like Kiss popping on stage. It was the biggest blue flame I'd ever seen in my life, right? So normally you do a blue flame, it's quick, and the flame is mostly blue. When he did it, it started blue and actually got to yellow because it got big enough, right? And I mean, it was just, oof. He screams at the top of his lungs and takes off running. We were down in the basement. He takes off running out of the basement. Paul and I, meanwhile, are on the floor dying of laughter, right? And we don't see Tony for like 5 to 10 minutes. By the time he comes back downstairs, he's holding a pair of underwear and a pair of shorts in his hand. He's wearing a pair of Paul's mother's shorts, which were very obvious that he's wearing Paul's mother's shorts. And he looks unhappy, which for Tony is not unreasonable, but looks really unhappy. He shows us his underwear and his shorts, man. There was a hole burned through both. Like if you took a cigar and butted it out in that, but it burned the inside of his rectum. Like he couldn't sit down for about a week. So he would stand everywhere. I mean, like seriously, he walked all gingerly. And after that, I never did it again. Like I can't live with that, man.
How was Fart the star of the story? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Wally. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
How you guys doing?
Doing great, man. How are you, brother?
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
I'm glad we finally got a topic that you can relate to.
Farts, I'm in.
Yeah. So we were taking a family trip over to the peninsula, and we were on the ferry going for a ferry ride, and took the kids out on the deck, and I felt one coming, so I, went outside being polite and let one off. My son and I were laughing about it. While this dad and his little son come out, and he says, "Let's go out and smell the salt water." And so he takes about 3 steps, and his kid stops and says, "I don't want to go out here. It doesn't smell good." So they went back inside.
So it actually lingered outside on a ferry.
Well, yeah, and you're going into the wind, and so it's blowing backwards. So they were the first ones to smell it.
And the kid dialed out and said, I don't want to do this.
That's just how inertia works. I farted on getting on an escalator, man, and it just kind of stayed with me the entire way to the top.
You would think it would go behind you, right?
Exactly.
They don't.
No, they stay
They
right
travel up the escalator
exactly.
with you.
And I was like, oh, my God, this is coming up. Oh, my. And the whole way to the top, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, that damn thing followed me the entire way up the top of this escalator.
Hey, let this be a lesson to children everywhere. Like, look, there's a lot of places you can fart, crop dust, leave one somewhere and no one knows. The escalator, it travels with you. I've done it myself, thinking the same thing. Like, gas and people behind me.
It was in the Atlanta airport, man.
And it just went
got off
all
the
way up?
Yeah, and there was like people like 5 steps behind me.
All right.
So I just farted. When you get off a plane, man, your stomach is just all messed up.
That's where everyone goes into the bathroom.
But it just stayed in this pocket. And I don't know if they even got wind of it until maybe they exited the escalator.
I think when you get to the top, somehow that's where it stays. But yeah, if you fart on an escalator, it takes the ride with you.
How was a fart the star of the story? 206-803-ROCK.
Although to be fair, I've never farted on a down escalator.
No, always up.
Always up. Why do you think that is? Like somehow we're going up on an escalator, people feel free to fart. Somehow you think it's going to fall behind you. In theory, it should be the same if you're going down, you should fart. But, I mean, either way, it's going to follow you. but no one does it on the down escalator.
Was it you that farted or somebody else who farted on the bus in Baltimore? And the driver actually opened the door while the bus was moving
at like 45 miles an hour
down the road?
I was sitting in the very back corner of the bus, and there's only maybe 18 people on there. So, I don't know, I'm 16, 17, and just one of those quick, well, I've done it a million times. Didn't give it a thought. I cannot explain how bad it smelled. Like, it was real, real bad. I did not realize how far it would travel. Okay, so again, I'm sitting in the very back. I recognize that, oh my God, like this is bad. But from my perspective, I'm looking at the backs of everyone else. So the seats closest to where I'm sitting are maybe 4 rows up. And this woman leans over and she opens the window. And I'm like, okay, no doubt they're getting a whiff of this. Well, there's another couple sitting maybe a seat in front of them, but across the aisle. And then I see their window open. You can literally track the path of this fart based on the windows open because it started from back to front, okay? So the people toward the front of the bus started opening their windows, and now people are murmuring, kind of giggling, kind of complaining. And then the bus driver, again, 45 miles an hour, just opens the doors to air this thing out. Now, the thing that worked out for me, because I'm starting to get mortified, right? Like, this is one of those farts where you might get your ass beat for having done it. Like, it's that bad kind of thing. So I don't want to fess up. And everyone's looking at each other. You can't figure it out. But there were 2 other kids on there, maybe 3 years younger than me, who couldn't stop laughing about how bad the fart smelled, so everyone thought it was them. So the good news is they finally got off the bus, I don't know, 10 stops later, and they're still laughing about it. But when they got off the bus, everyone else is like, those nasty-ass mother effers getting on this bus, stinking it up, you know. But everyone's like looking around for confirmation, so I'm like, yeah, those nasty-ass kids.
Sure.
They don't understand societal norms. It was bad, man. It was so thick.
How's the fart the star of the story? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jake. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. All right, so I'm going to tell you guys the story of the moment my wife says that she fell in love with me.
Wow.
So
okay.
we just kind of started hanging out. It'd been like a month or so. So she's still in that shy fart phase. And we're hanging out in her room. And she's laying with her head down towards the bottom of the bed on her stomach, and I was laying up top like normally. And I'm looking at her booty, and I'm like, she's clenching her butt cheeks. Like, she's holding a fart right now.
Wait, you could look at her ass and tell that she is holding one in?
Yes. I stared at that booty a lot.
Okay, all right.
So, anyways, I'm like, hey, you got a fart? And she's like, no, I don't got a fart. And so I'm like, yeah, you do. Just go ahead. Let it go. She's like, no, I'm not going to fart. And I'm like, so I sit up. I punch her right in the butthole. Punch her right in the butthole. And this, the fart that came out from this was like a foghorn. I mean, it was loud. You could see her butt cheeks vibrating. It was a good one. So we busted out into a good 25, 30-minute laughing, just belly rolling.
So, and that's the moment she knew that she loved you.
Yep, that was the moment.
Because you punched her tightly clenched ass.
Are you still together?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Been together for 7 years now. We got 2 kids.
Nice.
Make sure you share that story. That's a keeper right there. That's a keeper. Mike, what are you telling me now as far as...
Oh yeah, we somebody brought up the greatest story never told, just an episode that was titled "The Fart," which I did look back, and it was about Ted's fart. But one thing that it has that I don't know exactly where it is in my system, but it does have it, is the show audio from that day. If you guys want to go back in time.
Oh really? You got to be kidding me! No way. This point in time, I believe we tried to continue the show.
Oops, whoop.
This point in time,
hang on. It's right there.
Well, hey, man, we should name it after this guy. But as soon as they did that, then people nationally were like, absolutely name it the Harry Balls Building.
It was Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Okay.
It's BALS.
God damn it,
Here's the...
God.
Oh, man, what's going on?
That's the moment.
What happened?
Wow.
I don't know.
Why are you waving it at me?
Because I don't want it near me, man.
God almighty.
Holy God, man.
I was trying to...
Whoa.
Yeah.
Jeez. Are my farts this bad ever?
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, that's like you just pooped.
Yeah, that was silent and warm.
That was really just straight up poop.
You need to, dude,
No
I cannot.
compassion for I need to poop.
Oh, you do have to poop.
Yeah, but we were in the middle of the segment, so I was like, I can't go poop right now.
You trying to squeeze one out?
So it just went.
Can you do it on the 15th floor, man?
Justin, that's bad.
Now,
that offended me.
Now,
I farted.
In all honesty, most people don't say their first and last names when they introduce themselves to someone else. You say, "Hi, I'm Ted. Hi, I'm Steve. I'm Ben,
Harry Balls."
But I wonder, how many times he introduced himself with his full name?
Well, he probably did because he was a mayor.
God damn, that's thick.
Yeah, Ted. This is
I told you, man. It was a mess. I'm a mess today.
You think it was the oyster?
One oyster could not do that.
I think it might have.
It wasn't the oyster. You know how I know it wasn't the oyster? I feel bad. This guy's still on the line, but. All right, full disclosure, I was choking on that oyster.
You choked on it?
Yes. When I was sitting there kind of looking at you at Hair Club, I was like...
You didn't look so hot there, Ted.
Yeah, I thought you were just watering
It
up.
was literally choking. It was stuck in there, and I couldn't breathe.
All right.
That's why. It's like, I know it wasn't the oyster.
Why didn't you say,
I can't breathe?
Because I was like, it's an oyster in my head. I was like, calm down. It'll
That would have
slide
been
down.
great.
How could you not swallow an oyster?
We could have Heimlicked you.
Like, oysters are designed to fall down your throat, man. Oh, God.
Could you tell I was choking on?
Yeah, you looked like you were dying. Yeah.
So we were talking about that dude, Harry Balls, who's a former mayor of somewhere in Indiana.
Mm-hmm. Because they're going to name a library.
Yeah, but they wouldn't name it the Harry Balls building, and that's when that fart.
And then
rocked the studio.
When we went to break and the door opened up, that's when all hell broke loose.
Sure, because now you're just permeating it throughout that
you
studio.
don't know how fast that thing traveled down all the hallways,
And how
the
angry
offices.
everybody was.
And you know what? We've dropped a lot of farts here in these studios. And granted, our doors open half the time these days, but there's been some nasty ones. I have never heard a reaction that visceral against it. This thing must have been.
You've never smelled
You've
a
never
fart
smelled
like
anything
this.
like it.
Not from a living
It must have been like you guys were right into his colon.
You never will smell that because that can never
No.
be replicated.
I mean,
You'd have to find a corpse in the trunk of a car that's been in a parking lot in the desert for a month. I mean, seriously, dude, no living thing should produce
and
that.
I've smelled some rank farts out of you, man. That have,
Oh, yeah.
wow, that one's that's bad.
It does not add up to that one.
How was a fart the star of the story? 206-803-ROCK.
Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Those are numbers. But you already knew that. If you want to know what number you're going to pay each month for your car, use Kelly Blue Book My Wallet on Auto Trader. They're really good at numbers. Auto Trader.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
Need to stock up on any weather wardrobe staples? Check out American Giant for hoodies, jackets, sweats, and more pieces you can wear anywhere. All made right here in the USA. Go to American-Giant.com and use code ANYSTYLE24 for 20% off your order.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up, we're going to sit and spin. We're going to go back 40 years with 10 albums turning 40 this year. And we're joined by Daily Miggs Morning Show with Taryn Daly and Steve Miggs for Sit and Spin. Yeah, that's coming up right after emails on our question. How was a fart the star of the story? 206-803-ROCK.
Oh, we're getting lots of responses today. A few from the text. It says, to start, I'm a plumber. I was in a client's home installing a new toilet and faucet. Well, a couple hours before, I had a couple of big specials with a few bags of fries, and let's just say it kind of worked through me like a jet engine. Now, I got done with the job, and the customer did not check my work off immediately, but after leaving, the boss called me into the office, asking me if I had dropped a deuce in the customer's new toilet in the house. And, of course, I explained the whole Dix thing, and the boss told me the lady had to leave the house. It was so bad and was demanding that the company pay for a cleaning service to sanitize the bathroom. I'm not sure the outcome of the situation was, but at the shop meeting, they all gave us Lysol to use on the jobs. That does come in handy. Let's see. It says, my wife farted so loud in an ICU waiting room that a lady whose husband had just died stopped crying and started laughing. It was so loud because the leather couch that she was on vibrated. That is impressive. And in 1995, I was 19, working for a roofing company. I got my best friend a job, and on the first day, we all sat around in the front office, smoking, drinking coffee, and the guys were taking turns farting and laughing. And my friend was sitting on the hood of a truck. He leaned back, grabbed his knees, and pushed. And his face turned red, because when he let go, he farted so forcefully that the follow-through shot up the back of his legs and ricocheted down to his socks. Will died laughing as he did the duck walk to the office bathroom. Well, the next day, we all received a printed memo, quote, "The next time you soil your boxers, throw them in the dumpster outside, not in the bathroom garbage."
No. How is a fart the star of the story? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Tony. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, so years ago, we used to hang out every Saturday or once a month on a Saturday when we were working together. And one month I wasn't feeling great. I had sinus congestion and everything. I couldn't taste anything, couldn't smell anything. And my buddy Dan was egging me on. He's like, "You can't miss out. You can't miss out. You got to come out tonight." So, of course, I fell into the peer pressure. I was like, "All right, I'll meet you up there." And that night there happened to be a ton of people. A bunch of them was from work. We're all hanging out, and a bunch of other people we didn't know. And I just, like I said, wasn't feeling great at all. And I figured, it's quiet it's loud in here, and my farts have been kind of quiet. I can't smell, and maybe I just let one squeak. Well, I let it go, and I always had a theory that you don't want to be the first one to say you smelled it or the last. You want to play that middle road when you let one go,
I think we all learned that in elementary school.
Oh, yeah. You got to be the middle one. So I let it go, and I messed around on my phone, and I look up, and no one's saying anything. But everyone's got this super disgusted look on their face. All the conversations just stopped. And I looked up, and that's when I was like, "Oh, man, I'm late to this party." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, what is that?" And they go, my buddy looks at me dead in the eyes and goes, "You know damn well what happened."
See, you got timing is everything.
Oh, yeah. And I had to go with the lie. I had to keep going with it. And I'm like, "Oh, that wasn't me." And he said, "You know it was you. The people behind you got up and left." So ever since then, they were like, "Hey, you want to go out tonight?" "Oh, yeah, I'll go out." And they're like, "Are you gassy? Because if so, you can't come out."
That's fair, man. That's what everyone knew. Now, would everyone have known it was you if your buddy did not call you out?
At the moment, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, he busted me out. But we were so packed in there, and the people behind me got up and left. It was pretty obvious. It was me.
People got up and left.
That says a lot,
Yeah, they
man.
got up and left.
I mean, I don't try to, but if it's super crowded, man, this is a safe place to fart. You're at a concert, just let it go. Because at that point, I'm one of 18,000 potential suspects. Mm-hmm. I feel comfortable with this. Unless it's one of those where you fart and it doesn't go anywhere except maybe 2 seats to the left and right. No one in front of you smells it. No one, and you realize okay, I'm going to get busted on this one.
We had a sauna at the athletic facility at the university I went to, and so it's summer. A lot of kids are gone, but the people who stay in town, you still work out and all that crap. So I go in there. I'm like, you know what, man? I had a pretty long night the night before. The sauna always makes me feel a little bit better.
Sure.
I'm going to just go in there. So it's not like a steam room. You can see in a sauna, but there's also these lava coals, and a lot of people like to
put the water or whatever.
Pour water on there, and you get a little more of a steam poof. So it's kind of a steam poof in there. But I open the door, and I'm just like, oh my God in heaven!
Oh no!
And I see a shadow kind of in the corner, and I'm like, oh my God! There's one person already in there, and I'm like, all right. And I look, and it's our head coach, and he's like, "Hey, Miles, what's happening, man? Come on in, man. How's your summer going?" I was going to walk out.
Oh, no, but now he's greeted you by name.
And now I close the door, and I'm like, oh, my God. And so I normally sit up top because it's hotter up there.
Yeah.
So the closer you are to the ceiling, the hotter it is in the sauna. Sure. So I go up to the top, and it is unbelievable how bad this is. It's a mixture of pine and ass, or cedar and ass.
It's cedar and ass.
So I slide down to the bottom, and it's just as thick down there. And he's asking me all these questions about how my summer's going, how the family is, all this stuff. And I'm just like, I need to get the hell out of here, but I can't because it's the head coach. So I have to be like, he's naked, I'm naked. Like the whole thing is just weird. And I'm just breathing in this 65-year-old man's ass. And it was bad. I mean, it was real bad.
Did you ever say anything or did you just play along the whole time?
I think he...
Like, coach, come on, man.
He had to know, but, like when
you get used to your own farts, right. Even when you know they're bad.
But heat, it's just like farting in the shower. It's a different level. When you have hot air in, it's just as far as how somehow that mixes together and just makes it a lot worse.
That's the one place I won't fart is my shower.
Makes it hang around longer. I don't know what the
But it gets thick, it gets bad, and then but it also alters the stink, right? So you get used to your own farts, but somehow you fart in the shower, it smells like someone else's fart is taking a shower with you. And I've cut my own shower shorts to get out. Like, I don't even feel like I'm getting clean at this point. I'm just steaming myself with butt.
Yep. How was a fart the star of the story? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Alex. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
Well, when I was a kid, my dad took me and a few friends camping. So, obviously, before we left, all of us kids were fighting for who gets the front seat, and my unlucky buddy Sean gets the front seat. So we take off, we're heading down 90, and my dad lets out a gnarly fart, one that, sounds like you stepped on Donald Duck or something.
Right.
And he, of course, locks the windows. So all of us kids in the back seat, we got smart and realized that the back slider window was manual. So we slid that thing open, stuck our noses and, breathing in, trying to get some fresh air. Well, Sean up in the front seat, he's sitting there gagging and crying and he can't breathe. And so he sticks his nose up on the air vents up on the dash. And he's trying to get some fresh air out of that. And at 70 miles an hour, my dad locks up the brakes and he slaps his head off the dashboard.
Jesus.
It was pretty epic.
Now, how many other things did your dad do just to torture you?
Oh, man, I don't even know. Too many to list.
I was going to say, if you're locking the windows when you fart, I'm like, okay, this is not a one-time deal. This is a guy who takes great pleasure in tormenting his own children.
Oh, yeah, not only that, and his friends. He's gotten in fart battles on the way to go hunting trips down in Idaho or something on the way there. He's got a friend that'll let one out, and he just looks over at him and says, "Don't get that thing started or I will finish this." And sure enough, they all start letting him go, so he ends up finishing it. He cleared out the whole truck. They pulled over on the side of the highway just to get out and everybody breathe.
What is it about being a dude that we enjoy farting so much? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I can meet a complete stranger that's a dude, right? And I don't know, like your wife's dragged you to something, like you always say. You didn't feel like going. I don't know your coworker's husband, but whatever. And maybe we don't have anything in common. So I'm not talking sports. Maybe they're into IT. He can't talk to me. But somehow, if you fart, like, hey, dude, hang on a second. If you fart, you've officially broken the ice.
Yep.
Next thing you know, you're drinking together. And it's such an odd thing. Because I feel like, and I see it with my son versus my daughter. My daughter has to fart. If she farts in front of you, it was an accident. She apologizes. And it's like, dude, I get it. That's why you have a butt. But otherwise, she'll physically get up. She might tell you she has to fart, but she will go somewhere else and do it. You don't hear it. You don't smell it. And I'm sure it's just in her better. My son, meanwhile, man, he stands up, does a dance move, spins around, puts his head down by his ankles, aims his ass at you, and just...
I think when you're younger, your body starts churning a little more. I remember when I first started going on dates when I got a car. And these are innocent dates. These are dates where, you go to a movie, you go do something.
You don't get laid.
No, you go to get dinner, you do whatever you do, and then you get the date home by 10:30, 11, whatever the curfew is. And I just remember it seemed like every single time I could not wait to get the date over with and drop the date off, and I would just sit in my car and fart the entire way home. And that was like, I almost wanted to get the date over with early because I wasn't sure, your proximity is so close.
Right.
When you're that age, as far as you're going to sit beside each other at the movie theater.
Of course.
You got a dinner table for two, I went to the bathroom and farted. I did all that. I still just had...
You just had more to go.
I just had more to go. And I would just fart, nonstop from the time that she closed the door until the time that I walked into my house. It was just...
she did the same thing. As soon as she closed, thank you, Miles, for a wonderful night. As soon as that goes, I guarantee.
Oh, thank God she's gone.
She crop dusted all the way up to her front door. God. Yeah, same thing.
How was a fart the star of the story? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Josh. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, gentlemen. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Hola.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Hola.
Hey. So, I happen to live in the desert, and it's middle of summer. I'm driving around with the wife and kids, and I let one out, and my body immediately knows that this thing's bad. It comes out like magma. I start sweating from every pore. It's trapped between me and the seat, though. So I decide to start getting after the kids in the back seat, going, hey, which one of you two is eating in the car? Because they're not supposed to.
Right.
And they start getting back to me. We're not eating. I go, well, it smells like popcorn in the car. And immediately kind of lift the cheek and let it go. So they're all taking a deep breath at it. Kids start dying. The wife is absolutely angry at me because the problem is, one, this thing's vile. Two, it's about 120 degrees outside. You can't open the window.
Oh.
So we're stewing for the next 20 minutes in the car with this thing.
I wonder if the heat from the outside makes it worse, kind of like farting in the shower. So same principle, just the heat.
It absolutely.
Okay.
I believe that it does.
The problem is,
go ahead.
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree because now the daughter thinks it's funny to do the same thing. So
it is.
I got my just desserts on that.
It's Mother Nature's, like, to me, that's their laugh track. Like a fart. If people hear it, people laugh.
I'll tell you, this is my theory on the worst place that you can fart. All right?
Outdoors in Florida where it's humid.
Hot shower has got to be one of them.
Absolutely, that's one of them.
But I'm telling
I'll throw a hot tub in there as well.
That is my number one.
Don't do it in a hot tub.
I don't know who
I'll pee in a pool, but I will not fart in your hot tub.
I do not know who it was. I was in an outdoor hot tub in Whistler. The good news is that they had plastic cups and plastic pitchers. You could go out there with beer. In the way that my hotel room was situated, you could look down and see the hot tubs below and the deck and also the pool that was down there. And the hot tub, when it comes to skiing and people doing that stuff, the hot tub is one of the more popular places in that entire hotel. Sure. It's always packed. Very rarely was the room. So I was always like checking outside to see, are there a couple slots down there? Are there a couple seats open? Because typically it was just a group of people. Once they got in there, they were in there for hours at a time.
Sure.
Drinking, sitting there, just BS and whatever the hell was. So at one point in time, I looked down and like half of the hot tub is open. There's just a couple in there. So I'm like, baby, let's go. Let's go down. This is our hot tub time, man.
Yeah.
We got this. So we go down there. We get our pitcher of beer. We sit in the hot tub. We kind of, Canadian hello, that kind of thing. And somebody farted. And I know for a fact it was not my wife because the look she gave me, she was kicking me underneath the water.
She thinks it's you.
She thinks it's me. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, this is not me. And the way that the heat, because you're in down to your shoulders.
Yeah.
It's basically just because it's freezing cold outside. Like, you're not like chest deep.
You're like those monkeys in the river.
You're down. Exactly. You're coming up for a Coors Light or whatever the hell that commercial was. But it would not go away. And it just sat on a 6-inch perimeter.
The cold pushes it down. The heat pushes it up.
Right above the water, man. And it did not go away.
Did either of the couple give you a look?
Like this guy says, it's the reverse mechanism. You don't want to roll in the winter because it's too hot in the desert. Well, here you didn't want to get out of the water unless you ran and got your towel real quick. And even when you went and got your towel, it was so cold that the towel had started to freeze on the wooden hook. Like it started to shape itself because it was so cold. So you couldn't leave once you got in there, man. That's why people never left the hot tub because it's just such a pain in the ass to get out. I think that's the worst place.
If you had to pick out of the couple,
it's concentrated like you fart in a bathtub, right? But then you add that hot heat element to it, man, and it just takes it to 11.
If you had to guess, you think it was the dude or the chick? Is that like
it was an older couple.
Oh, that's a coin toss.
I believe they were European because they weren't they were very nice, but they weren't very communicative. As far as just, and most people do know English, so I don't know if they just chose not to talk to us because they realized one of them ripped it, but they were gone.
People get real quiet if they farted, and the fart is noted that it exists, but no one is acknowledging it. Mm-hmm. Typically, the quietest person to me in those moments, because I've been there, like, that's your culprit.
They weren't talking to us. So I kind of thought for a minute, okay, this is probably French Canadians because they typically don't want to talk to Americans. They don't want to talk to anyone who doesn't speak French. So that was my first thought. But then after I got a whiff of that, I'm like, maybe they're just waiting to see. And so about 2 minutes later, after like she's looking at me and I'm looking at her, they definitely caught wind of the fact that we caught their wind.
Yeah.
They got up. took their picture.
They left?
Oh, they left. But even when they left, I mean, I watched them walk back.
They didn't take the fart with them.
I watched them walk back into the hotel. You could still smell that thing.
But still, you sit there and you own what you did, man.
Before you leave, own this.
It was straight sulfur.
Just
it was
leave after you fart in the hot tub.
It was absolutely rotten eggs.
Yeah.
It reminded me, there's a lot of sulfur runoff from strip mines in West Virginia. Turns all of the water orange, all the creeks orange, and it has this really sulfuric acid type of smell to it. It's very pungent. This fart was that times 100. I mean, it was straight egg to the core. Coming up, we're going to sit and spin. We've got 10 albums turning 40 this year, and we got your emails coming up next from the men's room at KISW.com.
Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
A peanut butter M&M's production.
In a world where Super Bowl winners get the world's admiration and a fancy ring, but the runners-up get nothing, one retired cop returned...
That's one retired quarterback. Read the script.
Oh, sorry. One retired quarterback returns to claim what's his.
That's claim a ring with diamonds made from M&M's peanut butter. But you're on a roll.
The Ring of Comfort, coming soon to a Super Bowl near you.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
Cyclists, get ready to shift gears. Newport, Oregon is calling you for an unforgettable ride along the stunning Pacific Coast. Whether you're a casual rider or a mountain biking pro, Newport has the perfect trail for you. They've got it all: scenic coastal roads, bike lanes, and rugged trails. Cruise along the Yaquina Bay waterfront or delve into their charming neighborhoods. There's something for everyone. Your adventure starts at discovernewport.com. That's discovernewport.com.
Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the men's room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
10 albums that turned 40 this year, just to make you feel old, coming up with Sit and Spin. But first time for a few emails. The Men's Room at KISW.com.
You've got mail.
I'll give you a fart email from the question. Guys, I got detention in 6th grade for farting during class. To be fair, it was really loud and amplified by the hollow plastic desk chair. It was also during a test. I was in so much pain and tried the old lean, spread, and release. It was like a foghorn. Mr. Cox was not amused. Yes, his name was Mr. Cox, and he was a real Richard. Thanks, guys. That from Hunter. As we move on to the birthday requests, all of us always want to wish my awesome boyfriend Zeke a very happy 29th birthday. He's the one that got me hooked on listening to you guys' show. So how about a couple of shotgun gets, maybe a fart, what the F is that, bro, and the dirty German telling him what Zeke the freak should do with his last year in the 20s. Thanks, guys. Greetings from Phoenix, Arizona. That from Glenda. Get.
Oh my God! What the fuck is that, bro?
What was that?
Yeah, it's the last year of your 20s. This is quite easy. Your name is Zeke. Take advantage of that. And walk up to each lady tonight at the bar and ask them if they want to get freaky Zeke.
Guys, our birthday shout out to my longtime friend and currently my boss, Cody, on his 29th trip around the sun. How about a hippo fart? And the Dirty Germans talking about him being an electrician. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I would think one of the best things about being an electrician is rewiring all of those sockets. Yeah,
the best thing about being an electrician is that everybody before you did the job wrong.
Yeah, you can say the same thing in the bedroom. Yeah, the last guy that did this, he did this all wrong.
What was he doing? Who was the guy who wired this?
Let me show you.
Happy 38th birthday there, Robert. Please have the Dirty German give him some birthday love and some advice on getting older. Thanks, guys. That from Thedra.
Yeah, listen, it's the best thing about getting older is that you have more experience. And when you have more experience, you make different demands. It makes the bedroom a much more pleasant place. And you can ask for freaky stuff. They're more willing to try it.
Hey, guys, today's my husband's 41st birthday. Today we went to Monday Night Raw in Portland for his birthday, so I would love some green beans, a big old bong rip, maybe some crunch berries, and your penis is too small. He absolutely loves you guys and listens every day. That from the lovely Brittany.
Green bean, green bean, green bean, green bean.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. Decided to finish taking the puff from the old pipe there, but as you requested, crunch berries.
Michelle is my wonderful dental hygienist wife. Cara Leah turns a number near 50 today that she doesn't want me to share. So could the Dirty Germans talk about how dental hygienists get down? Maybe some dental wisdom from Miles and Mike to do his bitter batter butter thing. Much love, guys. That from Terry.
Betty bought her some butter, but she said it's bitter. If I put it in my batter, make my batter bitter. So she bought a bitter butter, put it in her bitter batter, made her bitter batter. Such as better. Betty bought a bitter butter.
Yeah, the thing about dental hygienists is that they're all about the mouth, but also they're all about the teeth. Tell them just to watch the teeth, but enjoy the mouth stuff.
Okay. Let's see here. All right, Carolia. Here are some dental jokes. Dental jokes. What do dentists call the x-rays they take of patients' teeth?
What do dentists call the x-rays they take of patients' teeth?
Toothpicks.
All right.
My teeth were stained. The dentist asked me, do you smoke or drink coffee? I told him I drink my coffee. And one more. An old woman goes to the dentist. She strips off naked. Then sits on the dentist's chair and spreads her legs wide open. Somewhat taken aback, the dentist informs her he only takes out teeth. I know, she replied, it's my husband's.
You think that'll ever happen? You get that?
All the guys, my loving wife Donna, who deserves much better than me, is turning the double nickel today. Could she get a fart montage and some wisdomness from Miles? Thanks, you guys, for your continued awesomeness. That from Nevermore.
Man, that is heavy and wet.
All right, Donna. I'm going to give you a limerick.
All right.
There once was a young maid from Madras who had one magnificent ass. Not rounded and pink, as you probably think. It was gray, had long ears, and ate grass. She had a donkey, Mike. You get it? A donkey. That's the joke. The joke is she had a donkey. And happy Tuesday, bitches. Want to wish my dad, Eric, a very happy 75th birthday. He's the best dad anyone could ever ask for. How about a fish sandwich medley, some shotgun gets? No Coach Ted today on there. But either way, thanks, guys. That from Iris, the bus driver.
Can I get
a fillet of fish sandwich?
So you know I got
I'll have a fish sandwich.
Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich? With the cheese and the tartar on the side.
I'll order a fish sandwich.
Is it too early for a fish sandwich? Cheese and tartar on the side. I smell the fish sandwich. Maybe some dinner relish in the morning. At noon, and at night.
Can I buy you a fish sandwich? Though you don't want a fish sandwich?
Dick.
All right, guys, here you go. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Yes, friends, it's time once again for Sit and Spin. Let's gather around the old radio and listen to some swellerific new music.
Oh, my goodness, it's a double dose of pleasure.
How lucky are you?
Wow.
I know.
A double mint gum.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, Taryn Daly and Steve Mix for the Daily Mix Morning Show. Look at that.
You guys tuned in a couple times, yeah?
Absolutely.
You
I
got
have
up
tuned
early
in.
enough to catch this
That is
wonderful new show?
Well, I will say this. I know that Miles got up early the first day. I have not heard before about 7:45.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good show.
About, my kid has walked in to tell me that my wife has told them to tell me to get out of bed. I get out of bed. I scratch my naughty regions. I yawn like I'm Tarzan because that's what. As soon as you become a dad, you just start. You can't yawn quietly. And then throw on the radio and been enjoying you guys, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Answer to the question: when I was a kid, I stuck my head in the railing of the apartment complex when I was about 3 or 4 years old and got it stuck and wedged to the point where they had to call the fire department to come and pry apart the bars and grease my head down with Crisco to pull my head out between the bars at the apartment complex that were basically the wrought iron fence that was on the second. We were on a second story apartment building.
Yeah.
So they had a wrought iron fence that went all the way the length, kind of like more of just like apartment here, apartment here, apartment here. So you all had one patio. I'm just stuck in there, and I think I was in there for like an hour before a neighbor noticed that I was stuck because I was crying.
Keep in mind, his parents noticed. They just didn't address it.
They thought I was out playing in the
At least you were
courtyard.
safe.
Well, they thought I was
You
out
couldn't get
playing.
into any trouble.
That's what they said.
They thought I was at the playground with all the kids, and turned out I was just sitting there.
Right.
That's about. I had something like that happen to me, but it was the banister down the stairs.
Yeah. Yep.
And I didn't do it myself. My brother shoved my head into the banister, and it was like I can't remember what old sitcom it was where they were trying to use butter.
Oh yeah.
And it was trying to get me to grease me out of it, and it didn't work. And finally, just yanked my head so hard that it broke part of the banister. My dad comes home. He's flipping out. Who gets in trouble? This guy.
Yeah.
Because I'm the idiot that let my brother force my head into the banister.
Feel like how those things work.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are going to start joining us for Sit and Spin. This is awesome.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, the very first one we're doing is going to make us feel old. Taryn, I hate to ask, were you even alive when this list was created?
I will tell you this. My birthday is a week from Friday, January 19th, and I will be turning younger than this list. I'm
Younger than you, serious? All right, okay.
39.
But you know all this stuff anyway. You know all this music. I mean, I know a lot of music.
I've
before I
always
was
been
born.
a bit of a classic rock junkie.
It doesn't count, man. I know a lot of songs from the Beatles. I was not alive when the Beatles put this out. If these albums are turning 40 years old, I was somewhere between 14 and 15.
I was
In other words,
14.
I was rocking out.
I will tell you.
These
I will tell you
albums
this.
probably meant something to me.
This was a great year for music. As far as going to a record store and buying stuff, I looked at this list with some. So we have 40 albums that are turning 40 this year. We're going to give you the top 10. But The Unforgettable Fire from U2. I know both of you hate U2.
Despise hate. Yeah.
I was a U2 fan back then. As they go on, not really. But back in the day, I did like some of
They're
their
that
stuff.
band that I constantly say, I should like them. They're good. And then I listen to them, I'm like, this is
I
just
think
trash.
The difference for them is when they were young and broke, they had a certain vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now they're super rich, want to save the planet. And I know that's good, but you're like, shut up.
Yeah, they're just pretentious jackasses that can really, diddle around on those effect pedals.
Don Henley, Building the Perfect Beast. I believe that had Boys of Summer on there and a couple other tunes. I was an Eagles fan. You got to remember, I'm 14.
You bitch about the Eagles all the time.
I do now.
You bitch about
but
the
I
Eagles
love
more than
them,
anyone I
man.
know.
I did. I mean,
I
like
love
anything
thinking
else.
about 14-year-old
Right.
Miles like playing Eagles for some chick.
Actually,
oh, wow.
I'm picturing the hair.
I'm starting to like it a little bit more now. It's like
Picturing
older,
leather.
but look, man, I did classic rock for 14 years, man. If I hear Lion Eyes one more time, I'm gonna choke a mother.
I'm going to choke an eagle.
What else is on this list? Ride the Lightning from Metallica.
Yeah. Now we're cooking with butter.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah. Power Slave from Iron Maiden.
Now I'm
You're
super
just
old.
whittling this list down.
I
It's
waited
insane.
in line to buy Power Slave.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect Strangers, Deep Purple.
Love that album.
Another
to this
great
day.
album. Last in Line from Dio. I
Love the song.
Album
Monster
covers were
year.
Badass.
Don't rub
when
it
you
in,
walked
Mike.
into a record store.
Wow.
Back in the day.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So far, the ones you've listed, Metallica's the only one that I really rock with.
Purple Rain from Prince.
Okay.
I mean,
when
that's-
he died, I repurchased it because you couldn't stream it, so you had to purchase it on like Apple
Really? You
Music.
couldn't stream it?
I don't know if he's still that way, but he was one of those guys that refused to put his stuff on streaming services. So I'm like, oh man, he's dead. I should probably listen to his music.
It's like lovely
Look, man,
sentiment.
that dude, that happens a lot.
Right.
It does.
I mean, I'm not kidding.
No,
you.
you're right.
I should check
Your
this out.
album sales go through the roof if you die.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh man, I should probably check it out. And I listened to it. I'm like,
No,
oh
but-
yeah, there's a reason why I never purchased in the first place.
Do you really think any of us are going to casually go home and throw John Mellencamp on? No, he's going to die.
When he dies, I will listen to him.
I'll check out some Mellencamp.
That will be some fun listening because he had some bangers.
Oh, he did,
But you
man.
won't do it until he dies.
No.
Right, exactly.
This took a really weird, morbid turn, guys.
I know it.
Just the 10
Well, they're
best
40
albums
years
from
old.
Future dead people.
Yeah, the people who were popular there, half these people aren't around anymore, I bet. Well, a lot of them aren't anyway. So these are 10 albums that are turning 40 on Sit and Spin.
Number 10. Born in the U.S.
Let's go.
Really?
Okay, here's another example.
This album came out the same time as Stay Hungry from Twisted Sister, Call Me Stupid. I think Twisted Sister's album kills this one.
Well, think about it this way.
I'm not going to argue with you on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, he canceled his tour. He was going to go out.
Yeah.
So, but he didn't because he's getting up there.
How old is he? Like 77, 78
Well, I'm
maybe?
just saying,
Probably.
most of these people are kind of on the bubble. Are they here or are they not?
This album also nominated for Album of the
Dead or
Year at
not
the Grammys,
yet.
and it lost
Two.
to Lionel Richie. Can't Slow Down.
Why don't we just
That was
play
a great album.
Are they dead?
Number 9.
Yes, they are dead.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Fun fact: Tina Turner's my first relationship.
Masturbatoria. Really?
Did she take you to
She's the first woman you masturbated
She
to.
was your private dancer?
It was her and Donna Summer. They were the first two. The Donna Summer record, I can't remember which one it was. She's looking hot. That was like
She's sitting on a radio kind of.
Yeah.
Was it Thunderdome Tina or was it?
No, it's this
Private
Tina.
Dancer
Tina.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what, man? It's a
The
shame
legs,
she's
man.
dead.
I'm still a leg guy. Tina Turner's dead?
I would have gone through everything I could. Maybe let's get a Ouija board. Let's reach out to Tina Turner.
She passed away last year.
Tina,
Rest in peace.
remember this in the afterlife. Migs masturbated to you first. Remember that for eternity.
She thought she'd find peace in the afterlife.
Oh, man. Those legs.
10 albums
Yeah.
turning 40 this year on
Yeah.
Sit and Spin.
Number 8.
Here's a bagger.
Grace Under Pressure
You
from
should have
Rush.
played this at night when you were on at
I
night.
know.
This is a jam.
You know what? It was so on Sunday. It was the 4th anniversary of Neil Peart's passing, and I teared up when I saw Geddy Lee's post. It was a picture of the drink that Neil would have ordered with a napkin on the top that said Neil,
Oh,
and it
boy.
said, "Sir, your drink is ready," or something like that. And I was like, "That's a great album."
These are the 10 albums that are turning 40 this year on Sit and Spin.
Number 7.
Now you either like REM or you don't. Based on the fact that you don't like U2, you guys hated REM.
You're right.
I
mean,
knew
I
it.
feel like I had like a small REM phase, but it was like this long. It was very short.
Well,
It was
that's not a
very
phase.
quick lived.
It's a pinch.
Yeah, it was a pinch.
That being said, I saw them do a secret show at the Crocodile once. And the old Crocodile.
Yeah.
Mind blowing. It felt like you were seeing them as a college band again. I was like, okay, I could dig this. And Eddie Vedder went up there.
Peter Buck used to own the place.
That's why,
for,
yeah.
For a while.
Why does everyone say this, right? There seems to be a universal thing like, I hate this band, right? I happen to see them live. They put on a great show.
They were great.
It's a great show.
I've seen 'em.
I'll just never buy their album.
I just don't like shiny, happy people. There's a
Yeah.
lot of REM that's just...
It's the end of the world
But
as we
this
know it.
This is kind of the beginning for...
And Everybody
so to speak.
Hurts will just always crush me. It's like,
That's a
stop.
sad song.
It's the
Play
saddest
that
song
at a
ever.
strip club.
REM, though, alive.
I would buy it that.
These are 10 albums turning 40 on Sit and Spin.
Number 6.
Ah, yeah, the car.
This was a bit of a comeback album for them.
Yep.
Welcome Back Cars.
Rico Kasich,
Yes.
not around.
No.
Benjamin Orr, been dead for years.
And Rick was rocking with Paulina Poroskova, right?
I remember
Yes.
when he died, we didn't know they had marital trouble, but basically when he died, his will was like, don't give that bitch a dime.
No.
For real?
No.
Seriously, man. Yeah, I don't know what their deal was, but he was like, not one effing dime goes to that bitch.
He gave
We
it
had
all.
no idea.
No, he gave it all to a foundation that takes care of people's large Adam's apples. Shaves them down so they don't look like a giraffe. These are.
He had a weird look.
Yeah. And landed a supermodel.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's going on there. That mother, he was
Hung like a polo pony, bro.
Golly, look at Rick with it.
He was also a rock star.
Yeah, that helps.
I mean, but 10 albums turning 40 on Sit and Spin.
Number 5.
Yeah.
Love it. First Sting, baby.
Fun fact, when they came out with this one, they were already 80 years old.
This was like their 9th album or something like that.
They seriously were.
It's bonkers.
They came out like 74 or something like that.
Yeah, they've been around for a while before they really broke big.
But they looked like it.
Yeah, I could only
Seriously.
name 2 of their songs. It's this one and then the whistling song.
Winds of Change?
Yes.
There's also
What about the Zoo?
Big City Nights?
Yeah. Big
Still
City
Loving
Nights?
You?
No.
Oh, man, you got to
wow, man. Come on,
Coast
man.
to Coast?
Yeah.
That's a really sick
Next thing you know,
instrumental.
you're eating schnitzel, drinking Hofbrau, got a big pretzel in your hand, man.
Oh, there's pretzels involved. Let's listen to some Scorpions.
Yeah, free pretzel with every purchase of a
Traveling
Scorpions album.
Volkswagen, the whole
Sold.
deal. Yeah. 10 albums turning 40 on Sit and Spin.
Number 4.
Oh, yeah.
Fun fact, I liked Rat better than Motley Crue.
Did you really?
When they both came out about the same
Musically, I
time.
thought they were better. They
So-
weren't as fun, they weren't as cool, but yeah.
Many years after this album came out, I was in middle school, and I kind of had this weird Rat phase, and I bought a Rat t-shirt. And actually, it was a long sleeve t-shirt, and I cut down the arms on both sides, and then safety pinned it all the way back up because I was edgy.
That's cool. So,
So
it looked
parents would shake their
like
heads.
a rat.
Everyone's
ate
like,
your sleeve.
what band is that? I'm like, you don't listen to Rat? They're like, no.
This is like that whole decline of Western civilization part
Oh,
2,
yeah.
where all those guys were just getting wasted. That's right. Remember, it was the dude from Wasp.
He was in the pool,
He was
right?
in the pool, and his mom was watching
him die. No, not Blackie Lawless. It was like the guitar player for Wasp. All of these guys were on drugs and drinking heavy. But, like, he was the worst of them all.
Yes.
Like, there was no joke. There was no put on.
It was
You're like,
sad.
This dude's going to die in his pool while his mom
Is he
watches.
alive?
He probably is.
Okay.
Probably like a preacher now or
That's
something.
right. I found God.
Does it remind you going to the Jersey Shore?
Little Bon Jovi action right here.
And
Yeah.
obviously, just a couple. I don't remember what the year difference was, but "Slippery When Wet" just like basically trumped every song on this. And "Runaway" is pretty much the only song that Bon Jovi would perform off of this album because everything else was kind of like, we don't.
I
need to play
couldn't
that.
name another. This is the album before Slippery When Wet, when they blew
this
up.
is kind of their debut.
Couldn't name another song from them.
No, just "Runaway." That's
Yep.
it. That's the guy.
10 albums turning 40 on Sit and Spin.
Number 2.
Oh, my God.
All right.
At the old building, we got in the elevator with Chrissy Hine. Absolutely miserable.
No.
It was,
yeah.
It was, I just thought, I wanted to get off the elevator. I was like, oh, my God, how many floors were we then? 16?
16, yeah.
Oh, my God. Like, it couldn't come fast enough. I was just like, she was just bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch. And
What about?
Bitch and bitch. I don't
Everything.
know.
Everything.
I don't
It's like,
know.
you know, when you just have a bad day, and no matter what anyone says, you're like, F you, F that, and F the place you came from,
It'd be
right?
great after every complaint, you just go, whoo. And then,
just don't do it in the elevator. Not in the elevator.
I always wonder about like the recording of a record like that where, all right, everybody get together. We're going to do the whoo and ha part.
Makes your lining a little flat on the who, bro. Come on.
Step away from the mic, please.
These are 10 albums turning 40 this year. We've made it to number 1.
Number 1.
All right.
And today is the day. Today is the actual anniversary of 1984.
What a banger. And half the tunes that are great on there, like Drop Dead Legs, Dead
House of Pain,
Dead
I'll
Jimmy,
Wait.
And this was featured.
Top Jimmy.
I don't know if it was this song specifically, but there was a song off 1984 that was featured back in the day. I think it might have been Steve Slayton, Smash or Trash on KISW, which was a long time
Right.
feature. So yeah, there's some history there.
Believe it or not, this is the album that saved them.
Totally.
Yeah.
Apparently they were falling apart.
And
they put out this album.
killed them.
Boom.
Yeah.
And ripped them apart. Yes.
I mean, you name it 1984, and it is like the quintessential 1984 record.
That's
Great
it.
album.
I
1984.
played hockey with a guy. He first came over. His guy's named Domi, and he was, a locker room's a tough room to crack. So you gotta how do you fit in? And then out of nowhere he goes, I used to be a roadie for Van Halen. We're like, really? And when? He goes, during the 1984 tour. And I was like, no way. And he starts telling us stories, and we're like, we don't believe you. He goes, I'll go get the binder in my car. We're like, what does that even mean? He goes to his car, brings back a binder, and it's him and all these groupie exploits from that tour with the band, with the roadies, and little gremlin action figures, because that was, I guess, popular in those days. And it was just like one of the most mind-blowing things. Like one of the greatest. I'm like, you had the greatest job ever. You were a roadie for a band when they were.
Party band who's partying.
At the height of their career.
Just collecting their leftovers. I like
I
it.
can live with that, man.
Easy
I
enough.
can live with that.
They would get bonuses based on if they found the right groupie for the right members of the band. Yeah. They get like a $50 bonus.
Daily Migs tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Thank you so much for joining us for Sit and Spin. Well, coming up, we're going to drink and toast with a shot of the day. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
A peanut butter M&M's production.
In a world where Super Bowl winners get the world's admiration and a fancy ring, but the runners-up get nothing, one retired cop returned.
That's one retired quarterback. Read the script.
Oh, sorry. One retired quarterback returns to claim what's his.
That's claim a ring with diamonds made from M&M's peanut butter. But you're on a roll.
The Ring of Comfort, coming soon to a Super Bowl near you.
Mike Rowe here with a radical idea. If you want to see more companies make more things in this country, buy more things from more companies who make things in this country. I refer in this case to the incredible t-shirts, sweatshirts, blue jeans, and more made by my friends at American Giant. Everything American Giant makes is made in the United States. And right now, you can take 20% off your first order at american-giant.com/Mike. That's american-giant.com/Mike.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Our kind of just minutes, we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. We do have your headlines on the way coming up at 5:50. Let's first quick check in with Mike Hogg and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Thank you, Miles. The internet is debating whether messaging a coworker a simple "hey" before saying what you need is rude.
Wait, run this by me again now.
So basically, you're good. You need something from Castle.
All right.
So you just shoot him an email, and all that's in the email is "hey."
Oh, I don't say "hey." I'll say like, "Hey, Frankie, could you help me with this thing?" Because she's in
So
or whatever.
that's
But you're sending emails. No, to me that's annoying.
Right. So what they're saying is that rude if you were just to email?
Yes, because you're not
"Hey."
explaining anything.
Exactly. We are at work. Okay, this is not a friendly conversation. I need something
I
from
hate
you.
to be that way. My wife thinks I'm mean about it. Maybe my coworkers do, but I'm like, man, if it's work, get to the effing point.
Now,
pure. And look, we might have fun after that, but man, at work, tell me what it is you're talking about or thinking. Let's just get through it so I can be done because I don't feel like hearing this.
Right. We can still be friendly here in the office. We have a lot of friends that we enjoy the company of here at the office. But if it is work related,
if you don't email me,
you don't need to open communication. Tell me what you
email
need.
text. The FU of email text is okay. So FU, okay.
Oh, yeah.
If you get an okay.
That's why I say okay a lot. Okay.
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 I'll name my cat that. Otay.
Hey,
What's your
I'd
cat's
say
name? Otay.
As the men's room,
Come over here.
let's make an agreement that if it's okay, we respond okay.
That's what I'm going to name a cat.
Okay.
Now I got to do buckwheat in my
Oh, God. A new study found that just 10% more forest space in your residential zip code can reduce psychological distress.
Forest
space, just trees.
We used to have a bunch of trees at the end of our driveway.
How about a window?
And, we used to have a bunch of trees, and then they put up the light rail.
Oh.
They cut down all of the trees.
Now
My
you have
daughter
swastikas.
burst into tears.
Sure.
She was younger, and I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, it sucks, babe. It's not that bad. But they said they'll replant them all. And when I told her that, she goes, yeah, they're all like 5 feet tall.
Right.
We had like 70-foot pine trees as far as you could see, man. It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because they're right.
You
It
need
does.
nature around you. You really do.
Now I look at poorly spray-painted penises.
Exactly.
Right. I went from nature to bad graffiti.
Researchers are now saying children should have 0 screen time for the first 2 years of their life.
Yes. Well, the first 2 years kind of easy.
Right. Basically, it's saying that it really kind of sets in a screen dependency, attributes to ADHD and autism, blah, 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 blah.
Kids up to 2 years old don't even necessarily want screen time. They
Don't you think
know.
there are better things to figure out about a 2-year-old other than screen time?
For real.
Like, I think most parents struggle with a 2-year-old.
Right.
Don't be a parent. That'd be my thing. Like 0 through 2.
Right.
If you feel screen time's a thing, like don't be a parent. That's all.
Right. You know what? Fair to say.
By
that,
age 3, sure.
Fair to say that that's something that you start to dislike more and more as you get older. These just little factoids that everybody likes to throw in. In fact, there's a lot of things that we start to dislike as we get older.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
10 little things that you'll start to dislike as you grow older. How about too many damned possessions? All I need is one pillow, one blanket, one fork, one spoon, a sharp knife, a tumbler for whiskey, and a chair. You want to come over? Bring your own damn glass and stand there.
All right.
All right.
Petey doesn't like company, man.
He does not like a lot
I
of
don't
things.
disagree with getting rid of stuff that just doesn't matter, though.
I agree. So these are 10 little things that you start to dislike as you grow older. Last on the list is just straight up driving.
Sure.
What was once an exhilarating
God.
voyage of self-discovery and rebellion against your parents, over caution becomes a routine, even tedious task.
So I spend the morning at the body shop
All right.
because someone hit my car.
Buddy shit.
All right. Yesterday, as I was driving to work, someone swerved into my lane, almost hit me again. I swerved away from them, almost hit the cars on the side, came back around, pulled it through. They had no idea. They were making a left-hand turn, but they do the swerve into the right lane before they make.
Why would you do that?
So I'm like, you've got to
aim in the direction you're going.
I take the car to the body shop. Now they give me a Enterprise rent-a-car. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Driving down Aurora again. Keep your car. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
Maybe it's just me. Keep the car in the lane.
They put lines on the road for you to do that.
That's the number one thing I've noticed lately. It's just not the Subaru stuff anymore. It's like, guys,
It's just
stay in your
everybody.
lane.
Dude, I was coming around a corner. I'm in a 2-lane road on the freeway, coming around a corner, merging onto another freeway is what I was doing. And then out of nowhere, the car in the right lane just moves over into my lane. Like, doggone near hits me as well. Like, if we had made contact, I'd have executed a pit maneuver, and this guy would have been done for, right? So I jam on the brakes and I honk, and I can see his face in his side mirror. And he's just driving. Just an old guy. He had no idea what he had done.
No.
He had no clue I was there. Even after he had moved over to my lane, after I'd honked at him, he had no clue I was even there. Like, what is happening? Why is nobody even paying attention anymore?
You're legitimately moving a machine that weighs about 1,500 pounds.
Right.
It can do damage. Act like, driving is ubiquitous, but act like it's a machine that weighs 1,500 pounds, man. That's all.
Subscriptions to absolutely everything.
I try to be good about that, but I definitely have some stuff I could cut out.
Yeah.
I could. The problem is the way they do it now, my perspective. Now that they've isolated everything, if you're someone that appreciates a little bit of everything, you got to get it all. Right? If you're regimented or if you're in an echo chamber, it's easy to just get one or two things.
Sure.
But, like, if you want the full count of all things, it used to be TV. Now it's like, well, we took this, moved to here, we moved this here, and you go like, gee, okay, guys.
My mom in rural West Virginia, they just opened up a gym, the first gym they've ever had in her town. So she got a membership for the gym.
Nice.
And she got a membership for the Blue Box situation where they send you meat and send you food because they don't have really good food there.
Yeah.
She says it's life-changing.
Right.
For her. And those are two.
Sure.
We're not talking about Netflix of the world.
Now she doesn't have to go to the store all the time.
Well, she can get healthier things than she can in those grocery stores that don't have that stuff.
Right.
You know?
Right. So those things that you do need, they're great. Yeah. It's also why I like when I change, my card expires or I need to change it for whatever reason, because then I get rid of the ones that I forgot that I don't use.
I got to check out AARP. Oh, God. I haven't done it yet.
Staying up past your bedtime. Again, these are the little things that you start to dislike as you grow older.
What's your bedtime? I have no bedtime.
When I get tired, honestly, because we're on the afternoon show, this year I have started waking up around 6:30, 7 o'clock just because we're getting into more of a regimen. There's more responsibilities that I've taken on this year and more responsibilities to myself that I've taken on. So I'm starting to wake up 6:30, 7 o'clock. So my bedtime is right around 9:30, 10 o'clock, right in that sweet spot.
Mine is before 2.
All right.
Hey, but I get a lot of stuff done at night, and I know what my personal goals are this year. I'm getting it done.
There you go.
And I feel better. It sounds stupid. Not the worse I feel, the better prepared I am for work. But if I feel great, I don't want to be here.
Hell yeah.
I want a bit of a hangover. I want to be a little bit tired. I want to drag my ass a little bit because to me, that's work, baby. Let's roll.
Yeah. Unrelenting corporate culture, they say.
Oh, sure.
I don't think you
not
have
so
to be
much
old.
since the pandemic, I don't think.
Well, there's still an unrelenting corporate culture because they're talking about as you grow older, you might start to see through the glittery facade of ping pong tables, free donuts on Fridays, and casual office attire.
Well, you have a great job then.
Right. No kidding.
I mean, count your blessings.
Loud music with gibberish lyrics. Again, these are the little things that you start to dislike the more you the older that you get.
I feel like that's a baton you pass.
Sure, because
we'll say it. Your kids will say it about the next thing.
Baton, not Batanya. Batanya is a girl you dated in college.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like that. That's a guarantee,
right?
Too many words ain't talking about anything important. Like
exactly. The social media hype, which I know that neither of you guys are really into at all.
I was on it for 12 years. Loved it, did all kinds of cool stuff, and then I realized that it was just okay. Here's the one thing about social media that you don't realize. Yeah, there's a lot of people who say a lot of negative stuff. Also, in our industry or any other industry, it can cost you your job.
100%.
So you need to be very good about not being drunk on your couch, which I'm not good at.
I think it depends how you do social media. I kind of take this opportunity to plug my Instagram.
Oh, absolutely, sir.
I've never been on Instagram. I have no interest in being on Instagram.
So it's his wife's Instagram.
That's right.
What I feel that it offers. So I've been drawing a bunch of pictures for 9 years. Stupid stuff. Check out @SmokingPun. That's it. There are no pictures of me.
No.
There's no story about what I do.
Don't believe that website to be true.
Easiest way to find it, go to the Men's Room Instagram. It's on the story. I've uploaded the latest.
Look, I'm excited to
He's
do
like,
it.
dude, you got to go to Scoop Brewing. I'm like, Scoop Brewing? What the hell's Scoop Brewing? Then I realized, oh, it's Stoop.
Yeah, but here's my thing. Like, people use social media for a lot of things. For me, I'm doing this artwork. I'm putting it out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you ban. I don't use it for that.
Right.
Take advantage of something you want to do and use it for that and bring it back.
But don't get involved in the vitriol.
Right.
Correct.
The vitriol.
The vitriol.
Don't do
vitriol. I don't do it.
10 little things you start to dislike as you grow older. People.
Well, sure.
I just hate more and more people.
Because the older you get, the more people are younger than you.
Right.
So when you go back to three other categories, like these young people don't get blah, blah, blah.
Well, and your fuse is constantly just cut away the older that you get because you're tired of dealing with the same crap from the same kind of people. You're done with it. We're over it. So you lose your patience. Any body ache. As years tick by, your invincible youth aura inevitably takes a hit, and getting sick makes its way from the it's just a cold, I'll power through category to the clear my schedule, I'm out for a week.
To me, it's the same as a hangover. Once a hangover prevents you from going to work, the rest of that follows through. Right?
Also, get up. The older you get up in the morning and stretch.
100%.
At least give yourself 10 minutes of stretching.
Right.
You will find that.
And before you go to bed.
I don't do that. I'm just one step at a time for me, but I wake up in the morning and I get on the rug and I'm just like, you know what, man? I'm just going to lay it out. I'm still kind of half out of it.
Do some yoga, Miles.
Well, I could do that too, but right now, like I said, one thing at a time. I'm just stretching.
The outdoors. Those once enchanting summer picnics full of buzzing bees, blades of grass, and baiting your perfectly made sandwich start to lose their charm.
Never liked it.
Never liked the outdoors. It sucks.
That's not true. That's true. If you're talking about like a picnic, when I eat, I don't want to be bothered.
Sure.
Right? So I'm talking about the bugs and anything else, cool, whatever. It is what it is.
Right. We have a 3-day weekend coming up, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be crap.
Right.
The weather's going to be terrible.
It's going to be garbage outside.
I can't stand being inside of my home. I hate it. I have to be out. I have to be outside.
Right.
This is going to drive me
make a
nuts.
snowman, Miles.
I will
come
go
over to my house and make a snowman with my kids.
I will go walk.
I don't have to.
I will take urban hikes. I will take a rucksack and do stuff. I cannot sit still. Like, it drives me nuts.
But the number one little thing that you start to dislike as you grow older, and I don't care how old you are, this sucks. The supermarket switcheroo.
When they change
up your doggone
Fred
supermarket.
Meyer and Ballard.
Oh my God,
it's been
dude.
3 years.
It's awful.
I still can't figure it out.
I
My
know.
wife cannot get over the Safeway.
And it's actually, because that way you explore more of the store and you're more apt to... Stop it!
Thank you, Trader Joe's, for staying consistent.
Thank you. Dude, I love Trader Joe's.
I know where I'm going. I know what I'm getting.
Trader
I really
Joe's.
appreciate that.
Talk
Thank
to
you.
us, man.
Thank you.
People were seen camping outside of several Target locations to be the first in line for a new product release.
Is it a Beanie Baby?
No, it's not, Miles. I'll tell you what it is at 5:50.
Okay, headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, it's going to contest on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. Have we made it to drinking time?
Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
At Metro by T-Mobile, there's nada yada yada. That means no contracts, no price hikes, and no surprises. We don't even hide what the lawyers make us say. We put it first. When we say no price hikes, we mean when you join Metro, your price will never increase for talk, text, and smartphone data. Our only exclusions are for limited time promos, pre-use charges, and third-party services.
Nada yada, nada yada yada. Nada yada, nada yada yada.
Nada yada yada means wireless without the gotcha. Only at Metro.
A new year is full of surprises, but one thing is always predictable. Postage costs go up. Stamps.com gives you crazy discounts of up to 89% off USPS and UPS services. So when postage goes up, your business will barely notice the change. Stamps.com is like your own personal post office, wherever you are. You can even take care of orders on the go with the mobile app. No lines, no traffic, no waiting. Schedule package pickups, automatically find the cheapest and fastest shipping options, and seamlessly connect with every major marketplace and shopping cart. There's even a supply store where you can stock up on mailing supplies, labels, even printers. Stamps.com has been indispensable for over 1 million businesses just like yours. All you need is a computer or phone and printer. Take a chunk out of your mailing and shipping costs this year with Stamps.com. Sign up with promo code PROGRAM for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. That's Stamps.com code PROGRAM.
Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you we say, bottoms up, sailor.
you're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve at Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. I have the hiccups. I'm already freaking annoyed. But I will say this, man. We toasted them yesterday. I will toast them today. Terrible showing. You got your ass handed to you. The UW Huskies. Look, hey, whatever the case, you made it to the championship game. Michigan, clearly the better team. They beat you in all phases of the game. Somebody said today, well, it was good for 3 quarters. And I'm thinking, 3 quarters of what? It wasn't even that good. But you made it, man. You made your statement. You went 13-1. You lost to somebody who went 14-0.
Also, you won the Sugar Bowl.
You won the Sugar Bowl. You weren't supposed to beat a lot of people. You did what you had to do. Young men, feel good about what it is that you did. I understand you always want to achieve your goal. I'm very much built that way, but do not kid yourself. Do not fool yourself, and be happy about what it is you did. And also know that next year, they have to deal with your ass in the conference. They ain't going to like that. So, hey, man.
Gnarly.
That was gnarly.
My bad. So credit to the Huskies, man, for what they did. It's been a great season. It kept people excited, and if it makes you feel any better, you have lasted at least 1 day longer than a professional sports team. All right?
Yeah.
The Hawks just say, we're done Sunday. Huskies, hey, man, you had the chance at least one more day. Good on you. Brilliant game. Everybody watched. Sorry you lost.
Unfortunately,
get over it. Move on, man. Get over it.
All the UW games that I watched this year, that was probably the worst I've seen them
That's
play.
the worst I've seen them play.
As far as the points they put up on the board, as far as just the fact that I'm just screaming to myself, like, number 7, the running back, he's hurt. Why are you playing a hurt running back? Why are you giving the ball to a hurt running back? Why don't you throw the ball? Come on, guys, get the rhythm together. And I'm wrong. I don't know any of this stuff. I'm just an armchair quarterback guy.
But Michigan knew.
Watching the game going, oh, my goodness. Come on, guys, throw the ball.
But, hey, you were there, baby. Don't ever let that go to waste. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola, bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Yes, Stephen Thrill Hill, could you please, everyone, now Profile This is played.
If I don't hiccup through it, I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes a story a story. Hello, Devin. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores. All right, Devin, do you understand how this year game is played?
I do.
Fantastic. You have a choice of one of 3 stories. We have interior decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone. We have hit me with your best shot, where you guess the unconventional weapon that someone chose to use as a weapon. And finally, animalize this, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
Gotta go with the animalize
All right, we go to the United Kingdom, where a village there thought that their eyes were playing tricks on them when they saw an animal wandering down the road. It wasn't until others shared similar sightings on a local Facebook page that they realized they were not losing their minds. The animal had been spotted in a rural community on the outskirts of Stroud, Gloucestershire, I'm guessing they say.
Gloucestershire. Like, where's
Gloucestershire? How'd you say it, Mike?
It's probably Gloucester. So if it's based on Boston, it's probably Gloucester.
Gloucestershire.
Yeah. Well, some wonder whether the animal escaped from its owner with a local resident. Natalie Bailey posts on the community Facebook group, quote, "Strange question, but is anyone looking for a lost blank? It was seen walking down across the fields to the main road." Well, another local resident, Alton, also witnessed it running north away from toward another town. Now, residents started showing concern for the animal, wondering if it would be okay in freezing conditions. They're going through the big winter thing right now. Now, many people may not realize there are 85 species of this animal, which can be legally purchased in Britain without a license. They say as easily as a goldfish or a hamster. But this was not a goldfish or a hamster. The question is, what was the animal spotted roaming around the countryside? Was it a lion cub? an emu, a monkey, or a llama? So lion, cub, emu, monkey, or llama?
And you said there's 85 species that can legally be bought.
That is correct. 85 species of this animal that can be purchased.
Emu being a big bird like an ostrich. Monkey's a monkey. Llama's a llama. Lion cub. Okay.
Gotta be a llama or an emu.
And how many species do you say could be legally 80-something?
85 versions 85 of this species can be purchased and bred.
All right. Gotcha. Because there's 85 versions of it, I'm going monkey based on that clue because I've seen like
85 monkeys.
Well, there's all kinds of different.
I believe it.
You could have a little tiny monkey. You could have a little like
you said punky monkey.
You could have a chimpanzee. You got like all those seem to be in the same family.
And what are the other options there, Steve?
Llama, emu, and lion cub.
Ooh. But legally purchased 85 different kinds of monkeys. That's
what I'm saying is the animal can be purchased in the country. But there are 85 different varieties of this animal. So are there 85 different llamas? Are there 85 different versions of the emu or a lion cub? When I think of a lion, I think a lion is a lion, right?
Sure.
That's it.
Yeah.
I feel like llama's really your only other choice here, possibly.
I'm just thinking people eat emu. You know, maybe, I don't know, eat ostrich. So maybe they've been breeding varieties, for llamas.
All right, Devin goes emu. Mike, where are you going?
I'm going to go with the wild llama. I think that's rolling around.
Wild, crazy llama. Okay. What was the animal that was rolling down the road there? Was it a lion, cub, an emu, a monkey, or a llama? We're going to find out next.
That's me.
That was a tease.
Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. They don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm. Justice for you.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories analyzed since on Profile List. We get to a village in England, which villagers saw an unusual animal running down the road. It is actually legal to have that animal there as a pet.
Yes.
Question is, what was the animal that they saw running down the road? Was it a lion cub, an emu, a monkey, or a llama?
And Devin, that is a question we asked you. Nobody picked lion cub, which is good because it was not a lion cub. However, Devin, you picked an emu. It was not an emu. I'm sorry. The Mike Hawk, you went with a llama.
No.
It was not a llama.
Flowing roads, striking.
So what that means, actually, is, in that case, process of deduction, Miles. Yeah. You said monkey. Wow. You are correct, sir.
Now for all TV news all time for TV Time with Tia.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Holy hell, it's my car.
It is indeed. I made it back again, guys, and boy, have I been watching some TV. But before we get to that, there was a huge game on that was last night. Biggest game in all of college football history. Your Washington Huskies were down in Houston taking on the Michigan Wolverines. Seattle was a buzz. Washington was a buzz. Because we honestly haven't seen a UW team quite this good in a good long time. This was
good teams, but not a national championship for 30-some years.
Right. People were excited about this team. Ted has always been kind of in the corner of the Huskies. We have our mutual friend who is a major Husky fan. I believe he went to UW. He's always got his finger on the pulse. But even they were talking about this is a different team that we've got this year. They went undefeated going into the playoffs, beat Texas, and now they're going down into the national championship. And after all that finished up, the game, 4 grueling quarters of football. Here's how we wrap it up.
Hail, hail, Michigan. They are the champions of college football 2023.
Present the national championship trophy to Coach Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines.
Pull it down! Pull it down! We did that! We did that!
Yeah, Michigan won.
Played a good game.
They did.
Hell of a season.
And you put up your best effort. Get to the dance.
Right. You know, and full disclosure, we might have had a couple screens that had some of the game playing during the show. And we were watching it, and they stumbled out of the gate. They didn't quite get their footing. Penix looked a little bit uncomfortable back there, but then you hear about how banged up he got all game long.
All right, let me ask you this. So when cheating scandals happen, they seem to affect and tarnish the legacy of a team. So whether it's Deflategate or some of the Bill Belichick stuff back in the day where filming people, if you go to the
he was a hack.
beating on the trash cans of the Houston Astros, people still hate the Houston Astros based on the fact that they believe that they were stealing just basically balls and strikes, pitches, you know. So, all right, they were involved in this. They got fined for this. I don't know, whatever the outcome is. There doesn't seem to be the same amounts of just anger toward the fact that they won based on the fact that they were involved this year in a situation that set their head coach down for a few games compared to the Houston Astros.
Michigan,
Who?
But I think the difference is this. The
So my
Astros
question
went
is,
to the playoffs.
Why?
Because he's already paid his price, and once you're under scrutiny, you can't do the things you're doing.
So do the Astros.
Right. So
I mean, so did Bill Belichick. So did all these teams. They already they paid their fine. They did their time. But in the end, they still had that kind of a stigma about them. And it doesn't seem like that Michigan.
I don't think Michigan's going to get it because Michigan, unlike the Houston Astros, are clearly the best team in college football this year. Right? I mean, we watched the game yesterday. You root for the Huskies, but Michigan wins that game one way or another.
They're a great team.
That's one.
Great team.
Two. In football, it's ridiculous to me about the stealing signals thing because I'm like, you realize that a defense will call a different defense at the line of scrimmage because they recognize what you're going to do.
Correct.
It's the same thing.
They do the research. They watch tape.
Now, that said, I understand NCAA pretends that this thing matters to them, but they punished the guy. The guy came back, and since then, he's been under scrutiny. And you go, okay, put all your cameras on us, and then he just coached a team to beat our team.
Yes, he did.
And if you ever wonder if why this happens, or if it happens, just look at a coach. Look at the defensive coordinator. He's got a sheet in front of his face so you can't see what he's saying.
Right. Because you know.
Offensive coordinator does the same thing.
Right.
So
because you want to hide that as much as possible.
Because you know they're going to steal your signs. Look, but my thing is once I take the field, if I'm a smart linebacker, right, I'm looking at the quarterback the whole time. He just touched his left hip. He acts like he wiped his fingers off. I know he just told his receiver and his tight end to move. That's stealing a sign. But I know what they're going to do. But the other thing I think with football is this. Baseball, you get anywhere from 5 to 7 games to master what it is that you've done. So I feel like with football, you could steal my signs. Brother, if I recognize it, you got 3 minutes to make that matter. And maybe it's a substantial play, but I do think with football where it's like you're in or you're out with one game, I don't know that the quote-unquote cheating thing matters as much, if you know what I mean. As far as stealing signals goes, it's like, man, it's a game. This is not what they're going to do for a 7-game series.
What I'm saying is they were accused of it. They were found guilty of it.
Right.
The coach was punished for it. Same thing happened with the Astros. Same thing happened with Bill Belichick and the Patriots. But with the Patriots, there's
nothing
more,
happened.
There's more anger. It's a money fine. It's monetary.
Sure.
You know.
Because the NFL did not suspend.
I'm not saying that had anything to do with the outcome of the game last night. Michigan kicked their ass.
No, but I'm saying,
they played
not constantly.
But I think people want you to pay your thing. Bill Belichick got away with everything for 21 years, and in the end, we found out he's not that good of a coach. Right? The Astros did it through the entire playoffs, but again, you're talking 3 to 5 to 7 games. You go, okay, that's something you can master. If Michigan can steal my signals for one game, right? One game. If I'm a decent football coach, that's done in 5 minutes.
Carolina Panthers were 2-15. No one accused them of stealing anything.
No.
To me, it's weird that the best teams, Houston Astros, they put a great team on the field every year. There's no question about it. For the last decade, they've been very dominant in the game of baseball, whether they win the World Series or not. The Patriots, for years, for a decade, they did the same thing. But they were the ones that were accused of cheating.
Right.
It's not the Carolina Panthers. It's not the Phoenix Coyotes.
Sure.
It's not these teams that suck. It's always the teams that are the top, that deflate the football, that do all this crap.
It's always the really great teams.
It's always the teams that somehow, through all of this, get to the... They could have done that without that. They were already there.
Exactly. I agree. Michigan was good enough.
They were already there. Like, this is not something...
But
if everyone does it, that's fine. But you got caught.
But in the middle of the season, right? I'm the Michigan coach, all right? I don't know if we're going to make the college championship. You don't know, right? Because one... It's a judgment call, which is always dicey to me. Now, granted, FSU was upset that they didn't get to play. Turns out they suck. But it's a judgment call. If it's game 8 of the season, I don't know. We could be undefeated. That doesn't necessarily mean anything to the power brokers that have cash to make decisions. But in the end, I think the good teams are probably the ones that do steal a little something. That's also why they're good.
I just don't think they need to do that. I think the talent on the field is better than that tarnish
100%
mark that they have.
But you don't know that until the end.
But I see what Miles is saying. It's like they at the end of the day, maybe the cheating did give them a slight leg up there, but it's always these powerhouses that didn't need it in the first place.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. I see exactly what you're saying.
I do too, but the flip side is, especially with football, so when I get the best out of sports, I know that no matter what play I called into my quarterback, when your defense lines up, if I see them doing something that's absolutely going to... Because look, it's one thing me and my son do now. It's tell me the play they're going to run and what side they're running to. And we're about 90%. Because I'm like, there's like 8 plays that you run in football. You can disguise it. You can do cheating. You can have your offensive lineman do this. But I'm like, there's not a play you run that I don't know. Unless it's a straight-up trick play. But in the end, if I'm a decent... You can know my calls. I can make an adjustment and the fly at the last second and kill you on that.
We all pay taxes. Mm-hmm. So the poorest people pay taxes. The richest people pay taxes.
Sort of.
Everyone tries to pay taxes, correct? It's the ones that have the most money that are the best that pay the least. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like that representation of like, okay, man, like you make a lot of money. You do real well. You're the last person in the world that doesn't need to give a little bit back.
But
so, like, you're the best football team. You're the best basketball.
How do you know that week 8? If I'm a billionaire right now, I'm going to be a billionaire 9 weeks from now.
I know that.
That's different. Like, look, I'm just cheating the system. Like, I ain't losing my money. But as a football team, I could lose that because anything can happen, right? We see crappy teams beat good teams. You see it all the time. Like, look, if you can, do. Because my thing is, if you don't want them to do that, then don't do hand signals onto the field. I'm not saying it's okay, but my point is there's a reason that these guys are holding covers to their mouths. There's a reason I have a lock on the door to my house. I do not believe everyone wants to break into my house, but I have a lock on my door because the percentage that do will. This is just one thing between them and doing that.
And granted, they were caught, but either way, I don't know. It's just fascinating to me that Michigan has not got that heat yet. I don't say they deserve it. I don't know the circumstances behind any of that stuff.
Well, they won't. But they'd beat us out.
It's kind of weird that a lot of those teams who do prop themselves up, they cheat. Mm-hmm. It's weird that all these billionaires who do make billions of dollars cheat.
But that's how you win.
I know, but that's... Damn it.
Before
that's not okay.
Before the NCAA.
That's not okay.
It's not about what's okay. That's why we have laws. It's not okay to murder people. We know goddamn well someone's going to murder someone, right? Yeah. So the NCAA is known for years. And these guys have been making money hand over fist from boosters, right? I have a Rolex watch. I'm 19 years old. I happen to be the best player on the team. Like, we're not stupid. The NCAA basically got called out to say, do something about it. Because one thing about the NCAA, and I would challenge any of their executives to come on this show and say different, they never addressed it. It's yeah, we'll look into it. No, you won't. No, you won't. It's all the boosters. It's all the money. The last couple of years, they allowed the players to make some money. Bryce Young, Dr. Pepper, do your ads. Terrible NFL quarterback, but you're making money on Dr. Pepper, right? And that's but in the end, it's the teams they wanted there, right? Your Alabamas, your Georgias, your Clemsons,
I understand.
Your Michigans. I mean,
this was early in the year. This was like 3 games in with Michigan. So they haven't even got to that point.
Sure.
I'm just saying it. Okay. Sorry. I've said my piece. I just think it's ironic that every time, I'm not diminishing from anyone's national championship, World Series, Super Bowl, but man, there's a bit of animosity, I think, especially like maybe I'm more of an NFL football fan, but with Belichick, it was going on for years. There was always something different. There was always
the difference with Belichick, though,
they kept winning Super Bowls.
But he literally sent people to other people's
I understand
camps. That. During the game, like I said, if I'm a linebacker, my linebacker says, Coach, I don't want to cheat because the quarterback just tapped it. Like, are you effing stupid? If that dumbass is going to telegraph the play he's going to play, that's why when I watch a team line up, I know the play you're going to run on offense 95% of the time because you're telegraphing it. Where your tight ends line up, that's the side they're running. Oh, wait, the quarterback, then they're going to run to the side. They're going to do a heavy lift. It's a guarantee. It's almost not even like cheating. It's like, dude, get creative, and you don't know my play. I know your plays because you're not creative.
I'm a chess master, and I got a buzzer going off in my rectum.
If that's what he did.
Oh, my God, I remember that guy.
Come on, man.
That was nuts. What are you going to watch tonight? Celebrity Jeopardy semifinals are on 8 o'clock over on ABC. It's got Steven Weber, Kate Nolan, and Doolittle. Anyway.
I think it's Doolittle.
All right. Yeah. Whose line is it anyways at 9 o'clock over on CW?
How the hell would you not know that?
How you not know that? Also tonight at 9 o'clock over on Fox, that new game show, The Floor, with Rob Lowe. I've been checking that one out.
You told me it's great.
I like this game show.
What's the premise?
Premise is basically there's 100 people out there on the floor. It's a 10 by 10 grid. You're challenging somebody else on the floor to take their spot and move it into your own personal territory, if you will. And everybody's got their own area of expertise. And so basically, Miles, your expertise is dogs. So then we'll go out there. You and I are face to face, just like we are now, up against each other. They put up a dog breed on the board, and we go back and forth, just naming off what dog breed shows up.
If I'm wrong, do I fall through the floor?
No, you do not fall through the floor.
It's not like Don't Break the Ice.
That is on at 9 o'clock over on Fox. Late night tonight. Check out Jimmy Kimmel. He's got our buddy Duff McKagan.
All right, very cool. Appreciate it, Mike. Appreciate it. All right, so coming up, headlines are on the way. You're listening to Men's Room.
A peanut butter M&M's production.
In a world where Super Bowl winners get the world's admiration and a fancy ring, but the runners-up get nothing, one retired cop returned.
That's one retired quarterback. Read the script.
Oh, sorry. One retired quarterback returns to claim what's his.
That's claim a ring with diamonds made from M&M's peanut butter. But you're on a roll.
The Ring of Comfort, coming soon to a Super Bowl near you.
Shall I take your order, or do you need a minute?
Yes, I'll be ready. Just buying a car on Carvana.
What?
It's super convenient. I already got pre-qualified in 2 minutes. All I had to do was answer a few questions.
What? That's handy.
Yeah, now I'm customizing my down and monthly payments.
What? That's an exquisite deal.
And just like that, Carvana's delivering my car in a couple days.
What?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'll have the burrito.
Visit Carvana.com to finance your next car.
Financing subject to credit approval. Delivery fees may apply.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. A new study claims the best thing to do before hitting the gym, guess what? Is to get high. We head to Alabama where a man goes to a party, and because of the internet, he is now that guy. A Tumblr at Target is causing people to stand in line. People who are laundry detergent, who ate laundry detergent thinking they were candy, they are not doing fine. We all knew that. And a teen driver is hit with over 50 separate charges. Why? Because he filmed himself doing it. It's time for your headline.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
All right, our top story, we got to Target locations nationwide. Where obsession is starting to get out of hand. Several stores across the country saw customers camped outside the front doors overnight in order to be the first in line for a new release. That release is a collaboration product between Starbucks and Stanley Cups.
I don't know anything about Stanley.
It was a water bottle.
Pretty much.
What is the appeal about this particular water bottle versus like I have like 12 at home, right?
You see, it's got a handle on it and a straw.
And you're waiting in line for that.
And it's double insulated, so it keeps the temperature of whatever's inside.
Well, that's important.
That's kind of the point of those cups.
So you have a cup that's from the cooler manufacturer.
I don't know. We have probably
Yeti had its run.
We
right?
have 3 Yetis.
Okay.
We have 3 things that are not Yetis, but they all do the same thing.
Okay, so I
Yeti's
feel like
bigger.
It's on that tip. Whatever is the most popular.
Correct.
Like, if you're on the Traeger train, it's all good.
Well,
it's all
and they're
quality stuff.
They're absolutely buying the farm on this one. They're doing it right because they've gotten a bunch of different collaborations. They're just the new hot trend right now. My wife's got one. She's got the Lainey Wilson Special Edition, which it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
So is it but it's more than status.
Correct.
Because there was a video that went online of a woman whose car caught on fire.
Right.
Okay, did you see that?
Oh yeah, and there was still ice in that Stanley.
That is amazing.
Right.
That justifies it right there.
And it is a great drink vessel, but there are women that have like 10, 12 of these doggone
It's like what Steve was saying on the Daily Mix show this morning when that iPhone fell out of the sky from 16,000 feet.
Right.
That is an Apple commercial.
Absolutely.
How is it not?
That is an Apple commercial.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, they either sent that woman like a new Stanley, or they sent her money, or bought her a new car. I believe that's what they did. They bought her a new car because they sold more Stanleys because of that video than they did in any of their regular advertising.
Stanley just cups?
Yes.
Do they do nothing else?
You know what? I don't know that for sure.
Okay,
I shouldn't say that. I don't know.
When I think Stanley, I think of like tools.
Or the steamer, right? Stanley steamer, Stanley tools.
Well, I never even heard of these things, and all of a sudden my wife comes at me and she says, I want a Stanley Cup. I'm like, it's the Kraken's third season,
Go
man.
play hockey,
I mean,
baby.
I do too, but like, damn, give them some time. They'll get there.
Obviously,
like, no, the actual drink.
Well, obviously they're worth the cost.
They're like $45, $55 a piece.
Oh, no way.
For the regular ones. And then when you get these
Don't leave
special
that
editions,
on the machine of the gym.
No kidding, dude. No kidding. So anyway, in other news, stupid story out of Utah, a Mazda dealership was the unfortunate target of a pair of thieves. 2 women walked out of the dealership and eventually were helped to in their endeavor to buy a brand new Mazda CX-30. The pair gave their information, social security number, IDs, all that, and were given the keys to their new car, which they joyously drove off the lot with. But dealers at the shop started getting suspicious, as after a few days, the pair still hadn't made a down payment on the car, to the point that they officially reported it as stolen. Luckily, it was found shortly afterwards without either of the 2 driving it. Even luckier, officers got a call from the dealership that the pair had come back to the shop using completely different names and attempted to steal another car.
They will never remember your face.
Mazda and Mitsubishi owners and their loyalty is very strange to me.
Right.
They're like 1%.
So the fact that these 2 idiots came back, Steve.
So weird.
I got the gavel here. Court is open. Do we levy a stupid tax against these 2?
Yes.
Okay. What is the charge on this stupid tax for these 2?
Because the main thing that everyone says, do not return to the scene of the crime, because that's amateur, right?
Correct.
And you did. So to me, that's a $250 fine.
Yeah, like when they kidnap someone.
Wait, I'm not done, Mike. We need one more judgment from your gavel.
One more judgment from the gavel.
Not only did you return to the scene of the crime, you tried to buy another vehicle. That is a $1,500 fine. Thank you. Sorry.
Pay the clerk. Pay the clerk. And just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth.
Thankfully, there's good news.
Researchers at the University of Colorado Boulder conducted a first-of-its-kind study into the effects of marijuana while exercising.
Awesome.
They rounded up participants who run regularly and had them run for 30 minutes, periodically asking them questions, how they felt, how motivated they were during their workout, how are they feeling, and then allowed participants to smoke weed before jumping back onto the treadmill, and found that the jazz cabbage did indeed help increase motivation
cabbage
and feelings of euphoria during the run.
Yes.
Even helping the time pass by more quickly.
I stand by this week, man. I don't like every Saturday morning I get up and I have an agenda to clean the house, right? You vacuum all the stuff, you let the week go by.
Of course.
I have a list of things I plan on accomplishing. The first thing I do is get stoned, because you become so meticulous about every cleaning endeavor. And look, it can be anything. I just do it for cleaning. You are so meticulous. It is so clean. Things are done so well. And it's because you're stoned.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact. In the world of sports, there's college hoops over on CBS Sports as well as ESPN and ESPN2. You've also got some NBA basketball on the NBA Network. And also, your Seattle Kraken already in Buffalo underway, taking on the Sabres. And that's on Root Sports. And
How are they doing?
They're about to go into the third period, and rumor has it, spoiler alert, You're cracking her up 5-2 against the Sabres.
Yes!
Got their ass.
Going to the weather.
Nice.
Going to the weather. We're looking at cloudy skies and temperatures.
Rolling.
And temperatures in the high 30s throughout the night and into tomorrow morning with a couple of spots of light rain and 40-degree temperatures. And that is it for your headlines, weather, and sports. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
We'll see you next time for tomorrow.
Who sucks less?
Who sucks less?
Yeah, Ted's back.
Ted's back talking tacos.
Who knows?
Either way.
We'll figure
Enjoy
it out,
your
man.
evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
In the meantime, we be all about this bitch for 180 seconds or so. So for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The men's room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. They don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm, justice for you.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
At Metro by T-Mobile, there's nada yada yada. That means no contracts, no price hikes, and no surprises. We don't even hide what the lawyers make us say. We put it first. When we say no price hikes, we mean when you join Metro, your price will never increase for talk, text, and smartphone data. Our only exclusions are for limited time promos, pre-use charges, and third-party services. Nada yada, nada yada yada. Nada yada, nada yada yada. Nada yada yada means wireless without the gotcha. Only at Metro.
Every year, one thing is always predictable. Postage costs go up. Stamps.com gives you crazy discounts of up to 89% off USPS and UPS services, so your business will barely notice the change. Stamps.com has been indispensable for over 1 million businesses just like yours. It's like your own personal post office. No lines, no traffic, no waiting. Sign up with promo code PROGRAM for a 4-week trial plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. That's Stamps.com, code PROGRAM.